I'm ready.
Hello, everybody. It's Awestruck Comics Podcast. They're doing it again.
And
420,
it, and
News
again,
Day, Easter.
it is Easter. It is my
Happy
second favorite.
Easter.
It is my second favorite resurrection after Superman. So,
Mm. No Easter eggs for many. Easter's eggs are very expensive. But yeah, we're gonna jump right into
yeah,
plugs.
if you could find a plastic Easter egg with money inside of it, that's still probably worth less than the cost of an actual egg.
Prob- oh yeah, yeah. Well, I got your plugs up, buddy. Here we go. Your
All
plugs.
right. Right off
Very
the bat here,
exciting stuff.
this is me. This is Rob Messick on Twitter. This is what am I doing this day? It is Team Youngblood 17 with a Shaft and Colonel
Whoa.
Bravo cover. That is Liefeld. Liefeld inking himself, which is always a better, like
Mm.
Liefeld inking himself, I always found great. He's a better inker than, any of his other inkers. And he finds good inkers. So
This
this is
was
the page. What's up?
when did Colonel Bravo come? This was he came inside. He came inside. He
Ooh,
came
gross,
inside
Mark.
the Extreme Sacrifice.
That's his son, sir.
Oh,
Youngblood number 6. He shows up on the Akira cycle.
right, right.
Youngblood 6, double sized. Liefeld's return
Not
after a short
Cable.
sabbatical. Not no, he's got a gold Bionic arm.
Oh, I
Not
see.
silver, it's gold.
Right, and he has the eye
Silver and
flashing,
gold. And it's
which
the
I
other
find.
eye.
Oh, well, there you go.
This is a
Totally
great.
different.
It's such a great FU to Marvel. Like it's just so funny. Like, yeah, I don't have access to Cable. Let me create a dude who looks like Cable.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
It
and this
is.
is somebody had this online, the original art.
Yeah,
I wish he had a scan of it, but whatever. You take what you can get.
yeah.
By the way, Kirkman owns that page. I have two friends who've been trying to buy it for years, and Liefeld's like, yeah, Kirkman owns it. So guess what? If
Mm,
Kirkman owns it, you're not getting it.
right. No,
You
no
can't
way.
buy something from Kirkman. You cannot outbid Kirkman.
Right. So this was.
So that's
Yeah, there we
me,
go.
Rob Messick, Twitter.
Oh,
Second up, Maximum Supreme on Twitter, going through a page a day of Supreme. We are finally through.
1,316.
Yeah, we are finally through Supreme Apocalypse. Now it's just Supreme on some adventures. This is issue 31, so that is a 10 issue countdown towards where Alan Moore takes over. So very
Wait,
interesting.
why doesn't Colonel Bravo give his eye to this guy?
He should. He should. He's Supreme. It'll heal. It gets better. He just had his eyes jabbed out in Supreme Apocalypse. So like when you see his one eye get injured in this, you're like, not a big deal. I just seen his eyes jabbed out by other stuff. So
Not a big deal. Okay, so my plugs. Well, so this is I pulled the Jackal files and wanted to put Carnage up because I realized when I was looking through, even in the '90s handbook,
yeah,
there's no Carnage in the '90s handbook. There's like Black Wolf and his team is in there, but no Carnage. It's weird. It's very strange. And again, I hate the new like Ohatmu that they did. I don't like that. So an idiosyncratic poll, my Instagram.
the
I
tablet Marvel Universe book.
No, they might have done that. I don't like that. That's the Master Edition. The Master
Yeah, I was
Edition, I
saying
don't like.
right.
I don't like that.
Don't give our
But
fans acronyms. Tell them what it is.
Hotmu,
Well, hot
official
with they think it's not like a
handbook of the Marvel Universe.
gotcha.
Um, but when I was doing my like Hotmu a day, I was trying to have it that I was doing pretty much just from update backwards, and also included GI Joe Order Battle, also included Transformers Universe. But then I was like, well, what about these like handbooks? So this handbook was this the Jackal Files, right? So it's Joe Pierre front and back cover. Because I
Nice.
want to do the Apocalypse book and like I'm going to rotate some other because I think that their entries are pretty good, and I might even start doing the image ones in a different like another line. But I want to finish the Hostess ads first.
Right. No,
I
you'd
have
be
about
surprised. Doing a page a
50.
day, doing a page a day, you really get through stuff.
Right.
But you don't think about it, you don't worry about it, you just do that page a day. You wake up in the morning, drink your coffee.
Yeah. I like. I'm trying to do something. So I popped that up. This was my again. I wanted to do something for Superman Day the day after, but I wanted to do it. It was all just classic Superman. So I want to do Electric Superman. I don't think Electric Superman's behind you. I think that's just actors or Superman behind you. Yeah, in your screen.
Yes,
Okay.
I was going to talk about this after our plugs. But yeah. So
Um.
Pulp Heroes annual. I remember this series of annuals.
Oh, that's right.
I don't really like that series of annuals, to be honest with you.
I really. That's funny. I like them. Well, I liked it because I think every one was like three stories. It was
And,
like two or three stories inside.
let me rephrase that. I wasn't excited about it
Hmm.
because the annuals they had done before was like they did Elseworlds annuals, nothing better.
Hmm.
Armageddon 2001, phenomenal. Like Dead Earth's okay, pretty good. Like there was
Pretty
a
good.
secret
Yeah,
a year. Everyone did a year one, which is where we got the Doomsday annual. It was a year one.
that's good.
So all
Yeah.
those annuals are
Mhm.
very interesting to me because I love Elseworlds. I love future variations.
Shadow Dragon, year
I love all
one.
that stuff. But to get to Pulp, and I'm like, meh. But we did get some good stories out of it. But I just wasn't excited about it. Pulp, go
Yeah, I
on.
mean, so this
That's
is
my
Enrique Alcatina. The reason I mean he's done he inked Tim Truman on a lot of things. I think he inked I think he inked Hawk World as well. He inked the Spider, which is a great Eclipse series that Tim Truman did, one of my favorites, and then did the art completely in the second one. He also did a ton of Conan the Savage, so he's one of my favorite Conan artists.
okay.
That's
I was
usually
wondering.
my thumbnail when I have the Conan thing. But his art here, he actually did a couple of these. He did a Flash annual that was like that. It was in Elseworlds too. So this was pretty cool. This is John Rozum writing. So really fun, So, but I'm trying to get back into doing at least one post a day, uh, at least one story post a day. Because the problem is, I think that, and we've talked about this before we started the show, is that we just get overstimulated on like, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I should just whatever I have laying around, I should just do one. Or I thought about I did this before where I would do a genre a day. I would do like, war, horror, romance,
Hmm.
superhero, and then try to rotate that. So it's a little interesting for myself and for anyone following. And
Right.
I have a handful. I have a lot of fun followers. Like you have certain people that comment on your X
Yeah,
stuff.
it's getting a little bit
It's
bigger.
fun.
You know,
That's what she said.
it's getting a little bit bigger. I love it. I
Fitting.
love it.
Fitting.
Fitting. That was the first
Opening
bit of news
story.
too. Great.
Okay. So for the litmus test of this, so we had the Superman behind the scenes, about 3 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Couple bits of stuff. I did some screenshots in here. First time we saw Metamorpho in shorts, which I think is right. Well, it's better. I guess it's probably is aesthetically better
Right.
than like tights, than little like underwear,
It's better
you
than
know?
like a Speedo.
Right, right. Which is
And
the
I see
Ramona
the black
Freighton.
and white design showing that he's a member of the Terrifics, or at least a Mr.
Right,
Terrific's crew.
right,
Or
right,
at the
right.
very least, he's studying him to help them. You know, I almost wonder if Mr. Terrific's like a Niles Calder of Doom Patrol. Like, I'll help you out, but in the meanwhile, let's do
Yeah,
stuff.
Terrific says Doom Patrol. You're right. Yeah, Terrific says very, very much like a Doom Patrol. So I imagine this is a Terrific spaceship. Yeah, like
It
it's
looks very
all,
terrific.
yeah. Terrifics. Who wrote that? Who wrote Terrifics? Was that Lemire?
I feel like it was. I think that's the book I had a love-hate relationship with all those books.
Yeah, it's so goofy that Terrifics came out because that was their silencer. Was that all that stuff? Like all that
Yes, that
Immortal
was all that.
Men,
That was Dan
and then they
Didio
put the Terrifics.
trying to do a Marvel universe inside the DC universe. Because everyone was like, the Silencer was like Punisher, Sideways was like Spider-Man, the Terrifics was like the Fantastic Four, Damage was like the Hulk. It was just like,
Damage,
and
that's right.
the stupidest thing he did was he went and put the artist name first. And I'm like,
Mhm.
why would you switch that? Like, don't like we've spent 100 years putting the writer names first. Not that writer's more important, but
Mhm.
comics, the way they're done, the way the
He
the
John
creators are
burned it.
listed, the way the creators are listed is the order in which the book gets completed. It's written first, penciled, then inked, then colored and lettered. Like
Mhm.
by putting the artist name before the writer, that only works if the artist is also like the co-plotter. You know what I
It
mean?
works if
Like
it's
live,
Liefeld. Yeah, if it's Liefeld.
yeah,
I
because he's
beat you.
plotting it. You're right.
Beat you.
But you brought up with John Byrne. If John Byrne's writing it or co-writing it, or at least
Yeah,
at
but
the
on
very
on
least plotting it,
on Namor, it had Jay Lee, and then it said like John Byrne at the end. I'm not sure. I feel like he did that a couple times. I feel like John Byrne did that a handful of times where he would script. In Hellboy, sure, but I think Namor, I think he was probably writing, But towards the end of that run, I feel like he just kind of left that run, and then it was like Glenn Greenberg writing. It was like the editor writing it, right?
the
Like John Byrne just kind
Lars
of left that Jay Lee run just quietly. He's out.
Larson drew one issue of John Byrne's Spider Woman. I think issue 14. And Lars is like, yeah, he goes, the script. was just panels. It wasn't any pages. It was just like, here's 85 panels. Do what you want to with it. Like nothing. Just here's the panel, 85, you know. So
85
Larson, like,
panels.
yeah,
Jesus.
he didn't break it up by pages. So it was up to the left, up to Larson, which is fun. For most, see, artists come in two types: the ones
Yeah.
that want to really bring a lot to it, and the ones just kind of want to be told what to do, and then they
Mhm.
add to it on their end.
It's a John Romita Sr. situation. John Romita Sr. didn't really like he was used to more of the DC factory style of doing the romance comics. So when he came over to Marvel and then Stan's like, I gotta go do some college tours, do some
Yeah,
stuff, buddy.
here's
Like, he had to kind of figure it out, which was
yeah.
from what I understand that was some of the House Roy stuff. That was some of the stuff where Roy Thomas was giving him some guidance. That's okay. Hey man,
Well, you would.
that's all right.
I think you and I had come to the same conclusion that like the best looking Spawn issues are the four written by other people because
Yeah,
that
yeah,
let McFarlane not worry about writing it or pasting it or anything. Because we
yeah.
don't really like I've heard weird things about not Liefeld, McFarlane pacing it.
Mhm.
But when McFarlane got a full script from Gaiman, he tore it up. When he got a full script from Alan Moore, he tore it up. Dave Sim tore it up. Like those three issues look incredible.
Mhm.
Because
I thought you
McFarlane's
meant he tore it
challenged,
up.
he yes,
I thought you meant he ripped it up.
he
Um,
ripped he ripped he ripped up that art.
so I showed this to my girlfriend. I wanted the litmus test of like, what do you think of this? Because again, we're very biased, right? And my
Yes.
problem that I'm having with it is that it's all in James we trust. Everything is James got his heart. James's stories. James, 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 James. I'm
Right.
still not
James wasn't sure he could
seeing
do it.
right, but I'm not seeing Superman. I don't really know what James Gunn thinks about Superman besides like
He's
let's
right there,
hope it
Mark.
that
You have a picture of him up.
it's not. I guess it just I
No,
don't
no,
know. I do like this guy. I want to hear this guy talk because I feel like I've heard tiny bits and pieces of him. I want to talk about this. I want this guy. I want to talk to this guy.
well,
I
maybe
don't want any
that's
more
what
James Gunn stuff.
you're
There is not
correct.
if there is a behind the scenes photo, James Gunn has to he's in every I understand it's behind the scenes, sure. But I'm telling you just look, any photo that's a behind the scenes photo. If it's not in this, it's going to be him pointing like it's just like I'm kind of out.
Listen,
I want him out for a little bit.
Warner Brothers really needs this movie to work, and James Gunn has made things work. So they got to say, hey, people, this is James Gunn. This is Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn. We all love James Gunn. James
Hmm.
Gunn is now at DC. James Gunn, James Gunn, James Gunn. They have to sell this movie. They spent, quote, well, what did we hear? 225 million on this movie. Like they need this movie to work. The rest of their DC universe is all based out of this movie. So you're correct in that we have overseen James Gunn.
Yeah.
You and I don't need to see James Gunn anymore. We like James Gunn, but now
Well,
we
that
need to see Superman.
yeah, but that's what like I guess maybe you're right because maybe because when I said to her, she's like, well, I don't I she understands it. She's saying, well, yeah, it's his perspective, so we're they're selling his vision. We've seen the other
Yes.
visions.
Yeah. And people complained about it. People love it. I
Yeah,
still hear people go, "Oh, it should be Zack Snyder." It's like, listen, people, it's that time's over. The time's
it's
over.
over, Johnny.
Embrace it, or you're going to be miserable.
I do like the two things that I heard. This is why I think this guy's kind of funny. This is a funny line he says. He's just like, just what he say, just another week in the office or something like that, just another day at the office.
Yeah, yeah,
Funny. And then later on, when he talks about having the underwear on, it's an ad lib. He's not saying that on. It's he's telling it Lex Luthor. He's telling Nicholas Holt about it.
huh.
Um, so there's Dora the Explorer as Hawkgirl. My whole thing is that, and I said this before the show, I feel like there's just like five actors. Like that's it. I feel like someone comes out and then they're in everything. This chick's in everything, right?
Yeah. But
There already
it's been a slow
was
build. It's been a slow build for her to get this famous. You know, she's been around
a lot.
since Transformers 5. She was like the little girl.
She was little
Little,
J Lo.
hey, little J Lo, hey, little J Lo. Kind of weird to
Mm,
call her that. Like it's just a, hey, you're
yeah,
Hispanic, like J Lo, so I'll call you little
that's
J
it.
Lo.
Little J Lo.
I don't know. But it's the weirdest. Michael Bay has like the worst sense of humor.
Hmm.
Um,
Let's peel
but
on
yeah,
something.
yes. Let's keep secret plans
Keep
underneath
urine.
my balls.
Yeah, you do get a couple clips. So this chick, this is Michaela Hoover is smoking. She's like a model mainly. So I like her as Cat Grant, has her boobs out, wonderful.
Yeah,
New Perry White. I wonder if he'll say shit. I don't think he will. Shit. He won't say that, but that's okay. There's Jimmy. Now listen. Now you didn't know about this guy, Skylar. What's his name, right? So you,
Yes.
after watching Gemstones now, you're like, oh, I can't wait for this.
Yes.
Like, I
I
can't
wasn't
wait for
aware of
him as
him.
Jimmy Olsen. Oh,
Yeah.
he's great. He's great. So I'm very excited for this Jimmy Olsen. So yeah, I want that, please. What do you think this is? Do you think this is Luther?
That would be my first guess.
Yeah.
It's
Or
either
do you think
Luther
that's
or
or
it's
Ultraman 1
could be
as a
Ultraman.
Ultraman prototype?
Like he needs something. I don't know.
Like he's
It could
cocooning
be
out.
Ultraman prototype. My still hope is that it's Ultraman coming through the multiverse, and you need a suit to get him through the multiverse. Let's knock on wood. Messix's
Yeah.
ideas are better than the movie will give us, and I'm excited about this movie. There's nothing. If he can surprise me, I will bow down.
Yeah,
Because what if, spoiler surprise, what if it's Supergirl in that suit?
yeah, there's supposed to be some type of Supergirl in this, correct? There's
Yeah,
supposed to be
right.
some type
That's the
of
rumor.
concept of Supergirl in this. So, which I don't know. I feel like it's very stuffed. There was a rumor this week because I think it was originally 220, now it's 2. Is that
Boo.
thing you saw? I don't know. I heard 20
That's what I
minutes were
heard.
cut.
I think that's
Yeah.
dumb. I think James Gunn compacting it down to 2 hours and 20 minutes is probably his best job at getting it down to 220.
Yeah.
He probably has 4 hours.
Yeah.
And just making a movie, first 220, everyone's fine with 220. This is a brand new, let's get into the DC universe. This is the new Superman universe. Let's give it a little room to breathe. Like 220
Mm,
is fine for an introductory movie. And getting it down to 2 hours, that's a weird Warner Brothers thing. Was Justice League has to be 2 hours. Like, why?
right.
You're trying to
Right.
compete with Avengers. You're trying to compete with so much other stuff. Give this auteur the room he needs to do this movie right. But I guess
Yeah.
if James Gunn thought it was that important, like at the end of the day, it's up to the director, right?
I don't know. I would imagine that him being like a studio head, technically, or co-studio head, technically, he would have like Final Cut or whatever. Somehow Ryan Coogler, and I know Sinners is out now. I think it's out. I
Right.
feel like they only put in so many cities, but I feel like it's a quiet out. It's supposed to be really good, but I believe he got Final Cut and trailer cut and everything. And I think I told you, and I saw something. I never watched even the teaser. So but I told you don't watch the second trailer because apparently the
Yeah,
second trailer
yeah.
gives a lot away. So
Did
maybe he
you
doesn't have that.
did you hear the weird thing that all the rights revert back to him after 25 years?
Who? Coogler?
Ryan Coogler. The rights to this
What?
movie, because I guess I don't know who's
Oh,
distributing it.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's a crazy thing. That's unheard of. That the rights to a movie goes back to the director or the director's estate.
Well, listen, I mean,
I know
Creed
the
did
movie's all him. It's
Creed
all
did very
him.
well. He produced Creed 2 and 3, and they're very good. They're not as good. Creed 1 is perfect. I think it's pretty close to perfect as a film, period. I think it's great. It's funny. That was a Thanksgiving. That was a Thanksgiving Day movie for me. I saw it alone at the Ritz, like 5 miles from here, if that, 3 miles from here, with a bunch of single white men. So, or all divorced dads in the
Yes.
audience. So, and we're all crying at the end. Wonderful. So here then, so besides that, and there's a lot of Superman news kind of mixed in just because I kind of collected stuff through, just kind of hit
That's
the
fine.
movie top up stop, the movie stuff up top. Here's our first full trailer. I didn't tell you weeks ago, but I knew that Sue was pregnant. This, of course, is in the trailer.
Okay.
Spoilers. I didn't tell you. I was holding that
You're right, because
in case they weren't.
I prefer no spoilers.
Now, I think it's really kind of shitty is that I feel like you see a lot of the movie. Now, the problem that I think that I'm having with it is that I guess it's very comic accurate because they kind of shelve her in the comics a lot of time as a lady, you know what I mean? But she does not go, I guess, to the final battle at the end where she's just like in the press conference room where she's just in like an outfit pregnant, you know? I also wonder if it's going to be months and months of time or if they're going to say like, oh, her pregnancy is real fast because of our DNA or whatever,
I,
you
I think
know?
it's got to be months and months of time because like the Herald comes first, and we don't know how long. Like it's good for them to try to plan for Galactus coming. Like that's
Yeah.
always more interesting. Like what we can do.
Uh, Now
And
in
we
this trailer, the only thing that I think is I think there's a little too much in this trailer. I feel like when we see at the end, because I feel like the biggest rumor, storyline, plot line that may happen is that are we really only going to get this Fantastic Four movie? Is this just like Captain America: The First Avenger, where they're like, we just need to thrust him into Avengers? So here we go. One movie we like this time. I love the Cap movie in the 40s. I like this being a period piece,
Yeah,
sort of. So I
it's
would like
kind
three
of
movies for this, but I don't think they're doing that. I feel like at the end of this, they're either the Earth or whatever, the whatever planet's being imploded at the end,
yeah,
probably is this world. This is Secret Wars Doom, whatever. You know what I mean? Like there is a
yeah,
rumor that there's going to be a Doctor Doom in this somewhere. That there's a Mole Man in this, correct? Potentially.
rumored.
Um,
And we think Red Ghost.
oh yeah, stupid. Not stupid. I mean, it's fine. I feel like the actors you're wasting John Malkovich on it. I think
If this
John.
is a world where it gets destroyed, whether through Galactus or incursion,
Yeah.
I think it sucks. I think you're right. This is a retro futuristic world that we want, and we only
Mhm.
get one movie. If we get one perfect, you know what? If we get one great movie out of it, that's fine. But like, yeah, we would have liked to see the world explored. Because
Yeah,
it's a
give me
world
three
where
movies. This.
if you have a super genius like Reed Richards, show us a world of the '60s where he is out inventing everyone else, and we're getting a better world for it.
Mhm.
I dig it.
Right. Right. This is
So
the only scene where we see um his powers, his stretch. There is
yeah,
a four. If you didn't notice that, there's a four under his boot. Um, I think this is her face. This is her frozen face for the majority of it. I don't know if I believe him as Regis yet. I'm not too sure yet.
I'm
And
closer
this is
to it. I'm closer to believing it than ever. I mean, I like the way he presents himself.
yeah, sure. He's very nervous though. Like I don't know if I feel like and we'll see if he does it aloof. I like Reed as like smart. His mind's going and he's aloof. I like aloof
Yes.
Reed. That's my favorite. Aloof, like unsensitive Reed. Is this? I have to look it back. If this is Herbie later, I don't think he had that four on him before when he's in the kitchen, right? That was an earlier, more analog Kirby. Kirby.
Maybe
Kirby. Um,
Herbie.
so I feel like this. I don't remember it being Will Blue. So um, there's pretty funny exchange. I think Johnny's going to be really good. I feel like he's going to be good. I do like that their costumes are all a little bit different. I think that's
Yes.
really cool. They're all the same, but all just a little bit different. I do think that him having the all blue is just like because he's an a-hole. He's Mr. Fantastic. You'll be the Thing. You'll be
Yeah,
Invisible
yeah. That
Girl.
Norm Macdonald.
You'll be Human Torch. That's the funniest shit ever.
It is. Norm Macdonald.
That's the
Great,
funniest shit
great bit.
ever. And I'll be Mr. Fantastic. But I wonder if they even have code names in this. They don't really need to do that.
No, because they're all a family and they're just, yeah, it's funny. They might not have,
They might not have code names in this, yeah.
no.
But there you can see Pregos there, Pregos. I do love this.
Unless, do you think they go
This
to the
is the
movie?
best thing I've
Do you
seen
think
so
other
far.
people will comment on what they do? Like, look at him. He's like some kind of human torch.
Look at him.
The
He's some
Look at the
kind of the
strength on that.
thing.
Look at that strength on that thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where's Sue Storm? Like this girl's turning invisible. And look at how fantastic he's stretching.
Yeah, right. I don't
He's
know.
stretching so
God,
fantastically.
I love that, dude. I love it.
It looks great.
That looks incredible. So I'm very happy with. I still feel that his voice should be different. I feel like his voice should be gruff. It shouldn't just be the guy talking.
I
I don't
think
know.
Kirby and Stan Lee just pictured it like a regular voice. I think that's hardcore from the beginning. I
I
think
don't
we
know.
want to hear it gruff, and the other movies that portrayed it as a gruff.
Mm,
But if he's got soft blue eyes, why can't his voice be just as good?
no,
Now
not for me.
it's got to sound like rocks graveling.
Yes.
It's not like his tongue
This
is made out of rocks.
is no good,
Yeah,
bro.
that's
I don't
nightmare
like
fuel.
this
That
at
pick.
all. That is
Uh,
bad. And I did not, that's not altered. That's on a couple different, and that is not altered. So they need to work on that. This one wasn't as bad because it's in motion. It's going to be better in
I
motion.
I want the
It's,
idea of her coming and being like, I want her to mention Norn Ratter. She's searching for Norn Ratter. Like she goes, like she's heralding and she's checking out worlds for Norman Rad, like he's lost or something. And you know, and if she makes it to the next universe, maybe. If she doesn't, that seems likely too. You
it just
know,
doesn't seem, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's really doing anything plus or minus. And I
we
don't know. Look, I think all the line deliveries are bad. I think all of her line deliveries are bad. So I don't think it's her fault. I think it's miscast. I just think it's
Well, we heard a rumor that she was forced on Kevin Feige. Did you hear
mm,
that rumor?
no.
Oh yeah, I heard it from another friend. He's like, yeah, the rumor is she was forced on Kevin Feige, and Kevin Feige just kind of accepted it. I don't know who could force that on Kevin Feige, like Bob Iger, like who's
I
above
don't
Kevin
know.
Feige?
There's been some they haven't had the best success rate. But what does this do? But see, here's the thing: the things that people are getting worried about, a couple things that have been in the press, right? Last couple weeks, it was Vanessa Kirby saying like it's a progressive female or whatever, blah blah blah, that they're gonna do some like woke shit, and then that Johnny's like, I'm not a womanizer in this. I'm not, things are a lot different. I'm doing a modern male. I'm like, why are you doing a modern male? This is
In
a
the
period
'60s.
piece. So it's a swinging 60s. So I'm not really sure. So again, you don't. They do a good job that you don't get to see Galactus's feet.
Right, right. I
That's
still
okay.
have a feeling that if they, I don't know if she makes it to the next universe or she does, or Norrin Rad's there. I don't know
Mhm.
because it's like I said, if Galactus is a singularity, that means Silver Surfer is a singularity. So original Silver Surfer, like Doug
Um,
Jones, Lawrence
but
Fishburne.
see, are they making The Empire Strikes Back? Like, if they make this movie and like the FF, like, I don't think we're gonna see FF win. They're gonna lose, and then the movie's over, and then it's like, okay, go see another movie. Like, I don't know if that's a good movie. They're gonna lose. They're going into it like they're losing. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
They're in the locker room at the end. They're like, all right, we're gonna be safe. And he's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? He's like, I don't think, I'm not too sure.
Yeah. And
I
the
like
fact of
it
him
that he's
saying, I don't
scared.
know,
Yeah,
is amazing. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's. I mean, look, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I'm
We'll
just a
see.
little nervous that it's not going to be heroic. I guess that's in both movies. I
No, I
feel like
think it will be
I'm not
very,
too sure.
I think it'll be very
Uh,
heroic. It's just that it's not enough. Or I don't know. Or if they do save their world, it's at the cost of they can't go back to it.
well, there was a rumor that like when Johnny touches the board, that
Yeah.
he has visions of like what is seen. A lot of people say that's a bad scene, or they're doing the same scene as Johnny. I'm like, that's what Johnny does.
That's
He's a
absolutely what Johnny
hothead.
does.
He's a hothead. He's gonna chase, and I
Ah,
think
you
that's
get it?
it.
He's a hothead.
He's a hothead. You get it? Um,
Do you remember? I think it was like a what if the first time someone explained it, like, and Johnny Storm, because he's a hothead, became the Human Torch, and Sue always feels behind, like she's not seen.
she's not
Like,
seen. Oh, it's all there,
yeah, it's all
and
there.
what? It's gruff personalities. Was that a
Right.
Valentino? I wonder if that's Valentino.
No, no, no. It's when it's like early, like when the Fantastic Four get different powers,
The
because when they
Don
get different
Glut.
powers, when they get their different powers, it's different explanations, but similar.
Hmm,
It's pretty neat. It's a good what if.
hmm.
I love me. I love what ifs. We love what ifs. We could do a what if show.
I
Like
think
if
at
we
that
ever
time,
get
I think it was either Roy Thomas or Don Glut. Don Glut wrote for
it
like
was
the
a lot of
Battlestar
glut.
Galactica and
A lot of
stuff.
glut back then.
No, he was a good writer.
All right. We should call this the interrupting Awestruck podcast because all we do is like interrupt each other.
That's okay.
No,
That's
it's
normal.
okay. Because you know what?
Everybody
If I
gets
don't
it.
say it, the minute it crosses my mind, I'll forget it.
That's right. All right. So here's the figures.
The
Uh,
figures.
This kaiju. Now, the only thing that later on we'll see it. We get to see a little bit more. It looks a little bit more human here than the other one we saw. Got those
Right.
pants
Yeah.
on sale at Boss Cobb's this weekend. There you go. Next, a little weird. Again, I'm not. I mean, it's as good as you can do it. I don't know. And actually, I was thinking about it when I was watching the behind the scenes. I believe they're going to have to smooth out this costume. This costume is a little bulky, man. There's a lot of bends and stuff in it. I feel like CGI artists at the very end are just going to erase stuff. They're going to erase the folds. They're going to
You
do it.
think you think
They did that
McFarlane
with
is
Cap.
sliding in with Supergirl next year? Didn't they say like mid 2026 he loses the license back to
Yeah,
DC,
yeah.
right?
It's so dumb. Don't do it.
I
I have
know.
some stuff later on that I'll show you that I'm like, just
All right.
don't. You got crypto. You
Yep.
got crypto with his ear there. Uh, again, Superman's going to be kind of just sprinkled throughout because I just kind of collected the news as I went. So
Right.
July Image solicits. There's a new Jay Lee. This is probably the first Jay Lee book. That miniseries I thought was unreadable a year or two
Se
ago. Was that Seven
Seven
Sons or
Sons.
something?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay.
I don't know who. I couldn't get my mind around any of the concepts. This was a little bit more fun.
These are really nice
Uh,
covers. How much is he
really
doing inside?
good. I think everything. I think these are the writers, I believe. I think this is
Oh,
the
it's
this
three
these are the
writers.
people. Yeah. I think
Wow.
they're the people because all the preview art was him.
All right.
And I think I told you when I looked at he drew Tarzan cover that I saw at the Dynamite office, and I'm looking at it, and it's like it was so delicate. So like as crazy as these are, like it's like he's using the quill, and it's just so light. It's so weird. Like it's so weird to see this art when this is his new style, but like it used to just be like I mean, he used to draw on razor blades and stuff, right? Like didn't he have like
Yeah,
lots of different.
all that stuff we loved.
Yeah. I think all this looks really good. You know what I mean? It looks really
Yeah.
fun. Look really
No,
fucking violent too.
I'll get it for sure.
Look at
There's
this
no
little
there's
different
no
too.
there's no J
His,
Lee comic I haven't got.
his cityscape looks pretty interesting as well.
Yeah.
How long is this? Look at this page. The page that's right
That's a
here,
personal question.
36. That's what she said. Yeah, but this says 36, 35. Like what is this? What did it say as far as the solicit said? It's a miniseries, yeah? Unless the first issue is just gigantic. Trio of inter. Oh wait, hold on. A trio of interconnected tales by all-star creators Duggan Lee, June Chung, Kevin Mount, Robert Wyndham. Hmm. But see, the way that as we talked about credits earlier, this is the way credits read. Those are the writers, and then that's the artist, and that's the colorist. So sometimes you'll put, you know, uh, a Dick bit of car down there, like the letter and colorist, but you might put the letter in. Letter is getting more play, but
They
either
should.
way, you know, Russ Wooten gets a cover credit, I believe. Here's Little People. This is funny. You're doing a Little People collector's edition. You got My Electric Superman in there. Woo!
I Somebody had given me a little people set of like all the Justice League, and I liked it, but I
Oh
was, what am
yeah,
I going to do with this? But my friend has a 1.5 year old, so I gave them to him to give to her,
you
and
regifted.
she loves them. Yeah,
Yeah, look at
regifting
that
is an
hair.
art,
That's a good
Mark.
hair, man. Yeah,
No, these are actually really cool.
yeah.
That's actually a really cool line.
No, I like it. That's fine. $25. Anything Electric Superman is fine. I have to look to see if they have a good Electric Superman like DC. I feel like that's been kind of fun. Is that lately there have been some Amazon sales where things have been really really low. They had I missed it. They actually had the Jiro Bat manga and it was like half off and I missed it. It sold out. And then last week they had a Sergeant Rock and that sold out, but the face didn't look like a Joe Kubert face. I'm like, well, all right. Even if you did the Brian Bolland face that every time they say a movie's coming out, they have like that face, which Daniel Craig was attached to and then not attached to now, which sucks because I think that would be a pretty great casting for that. So I don't know if you've seen these. This is the first time I've knew this line was coming out. So this is
Dragon
the
Blade.
Master of the Universe sketchbook series on concept art. So there was the original concept art for Skeletor. So this is again, this is crazy fun, man. Look at that,
This is
dude.
cravy fun.
Look at that. How fun
I
is that?
I love this stuff.
Holy shit.
Like this is in line with getting Spawn 77 toys. This is in
Yeah.
line when we got the Ralph McQuarrie Star Wars toys. You know,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
what that is. I love this idea.
There. Here's the
It's just so
original. This is where the original kit badge. This is what they just think about this. They brought this into an office and they're like, how about this? And they're just like, okay, you got like Boba Fett's head. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's so weird. It's
yeah.
so
These are
crazy.
horribly garbage. Um,
Yeah.
but you know what? You got to go through the rough stuff to get to the good stuff.
Yeah. Look at the fur. That's a very Conan face though, dude. That is very that's a Cimarron
That
face
face,
there.
yeah, that face is so
Marion
square.
face.
It's like the He-Man Master Universe minis have faces like that. They're real
It's so
simple.
funny. Like look at how like this almost looks new, right? This is 1981.
Yeah,
That almost looks like
this is
a like a
44 years
like
ago.
a Mark Brooks or that. You know what I mean? That looks like new. How like kind of loose that art is.
Yeah, little
Crazy.
Scott Koblish in there. Speaking
Yeah,
of,
man.
because he
That's
just did that Superman
crazy.
annual.
So yeah,
Isn't it
this was
funny?
the first one that they announced and then have, but yeah, there is a two-pack coming out, and they're rumoring it's going to be this design with this little thingy in the middle, whatever the heck that is. Is it Orko maybe? Who the fuck is it? What is that? Is
I don't
that
know.
Orko?
It looks like the if you had Castle Grayskull, there's a trap door, and there was a sticker on the trap door showing you like the monsters underneath of it. That's
Oh
kind
yeah,
of what it
yeah,
reminds me of.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's super fun. This so the Bad Idea solicits came out. Now the Bad Idea ash can for this book was the best, the highest printed book or whatever. Isn't that right? Or it's this
Yes,
book? Okay.
it
So the
was
weird
the
shit about this was that like they sold what? They sold bundles of the ash can
right. It was like
for like ended up being
seven
like almost
dollars for a bundle of 25, which ends up being like 30 cents a copy.
right.
We got this secondhand from Liefeld, who got it from one of the uh, publishers of the comic, who also Liefeld is friends with.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
he's a movie. I think he's a movies producer. So like, though it's hard, like, well, they're almost giving away this comic for free.
Hmm.
And I think if you
The
order
ash
so
can.
many copies, you get the Joe Quesada variant. So it's better to order hundreds of
Right.
copies at no cost to get this Joe Quesada variant.
Is that this or that was the ash can or
I
that's
don't know.
this?
I don't know if it
Yeah.
was the Ash Can or the Zero. I think it was Zero, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what this is. So, I mean, yeah, so this it might be zero. Yeah, I'm not sure. But see, the tough part with the bad idea stuff, especially for us, because we do so much stuff digital, is the bad idea is just on paper. Yeah, there's no digitals of this.
Correct. Correct. So you have to buy it, or I have a copy of one of them that I got at Baltimore. Baltimore, they were like giving away.
You have a copy of this
No,
of
it was
zero?
a different. Yes, I think it looked beautiful. Look, really nice art.
Well, this is the guy who did Conan after Karen Ord left. This is Tomas Girello. So
Okay,
this I might see if I could pre-order somewhere. This is $10, but it's Chromium, baby. Chromium. Come
we
on.
love it, dude. We love the chromium. We love the
Yeah.
foils.
I want Chromium. There's a J. Lee variant. There's a Simonson variant, 1 in 100, 1 in 250.
Who's that, Pacello?
Bacalo. Are you saying it right? Am I saying it right now?
I am 100% saying it right, but you
I'm
say
saying
it
it
wrong forever,
wrong.
Mark, because you know what? That is you. You,
That's me, Amalgam. But yeah, this looks, I mean, look, man, this is correct. This is right up my alley. You got some barbarian fucking guy in
yeah.
space.
That page looked like it's straight out of like
Come on, man.
2000 AD or
This
something.
guy
Like this
Drew
looks.
Conan. Come on, man.
Look at that.
Give me
That
all
looks
that.
like it's right out of like Jaworski or whatever his name is.
Yeah, give me all that. Yeah, then they're doing a trade of this. So yeah, this was like I think their first book. So I don't know. Hopefully that they'll. This is only 12.99. I never read this, but I saw some stuff from it. It looked pretty interesting.
I mean, you see Matt Kent and Dave Lapham, you're like, well, it's got to be good. It's
Yeah, I
like
want I
this is
want
a
to read
book.
this.
I don't have an interest in reading it, but if I do read it, I'll like it. I
Yeah,
almost guarantee 85% chance I'll like it.
yeah. I wish they had some type of digital component. Maybe they eventually will, but because I really would like to see this stuff. Like
No, we listen. We want to support these companies, but like I understand that you love print. I get it, but the people who read digital don't want to read print anymore. We're both. So I don't
mm,
mind picking up a comic and reading it still. It's just I prefer putting stuff on my iPad and taking it around with me around the world.
right.
But
Button
what's
around the
cooler
world.
around the world, around the world?
That's a Casada. I think that's a new Casada cover. So, but yeah, this is that's a pretty cool looking. But that's the new Casada, like with all the shading and shit. Get out of there. But that's a creepy
Yeah,
image, man. We're just having like the guy's just gonna sell body
dude.
parts of a
It
of a
looks it
superhero.
looks like the way Dan Klaus drew the Ugly Family in Crack Magazine back in the day.
That's funny. So yeah, so Mad Cave. This is our first art for Speed Racer. I'll take it. Looks great. I've liked
Who's
everything so far.
who sung Speed Racer on Saturday morning's greatest hits? Here comes Speed Racer. He's a demon on
Sponge.
wheels.
I'm
What's a
not sure
sponge?
actually. I
I don't
don't
know.
know. It
Saturday
seems like
morning's
it's
greatest hits.
Sponge.
I don't know if I think we talked about it in the past, but it was just a CD where they got modern rock bands of the late '90s to
I have
do
it
theme
on vinyl.
songs. Do you have it on vinyl?
Yeah.
Good for you, man. That's funny.
Oh, good for you.
We played it at the store constantly. Chris Wilson loved it, and
Yeah.
when we had Chuck Dixon and Flint Henry there signing, Chris just kept playing it over and over again. And Chuck Dixon's like, "Do you have any music that's not Saturday morning songs?"
No, we don't.
We got
That's it.
Prince.
That's
We
it.
got
We got
Prince and
yeah.
Saturday morning's
Do you want
greatest
me to play
hits.
Bat Dance? Yeah. This was kind of weird. So there is, I guess there's going to be Sean Galloway like a collection together. But look, I don't even know any of these artists, and
Sean
they're all really
Cheeks,
good.
Sean Cheeks Galloway.
Sean Keith Galloway. So I mean, I like this. I think this cover is the best cover, but we'll talk about when we talk about reviews day this week. If like I had to buy a print copy of like the Godzilla Hulk, which one I would buy. But yeah, here I mean, I would buy that one. I think that's great. A little bit more modern of
Listen, when we review this comic, I totally feel that you should have a picture of yourself dressed as Speed Racer as
oh
part of
yeah,
that review.
yeah,
In
that's
fact, put
fine.
it in now. Write it down. Mark S. Speed Racer.
Oh yeah,
It's it's great.
it's pretty good actually. Yeah,
It is.
I
You,
I, I bought a helmet and then I took red duct tape and then I cut it into the M and then did the M and then I got a scarf and I sewed a G on my actually my W1 wife one at the time sewed it on. So, but
did she
again,
dress up? Did she dress up like Trixie?
yeah, yeah,
All right.
we went to
I
like a
vaguely
party. I don't
remember
know.
that.
Yeah, we went to a party out. It was one of my old bosses at Trader Joe's. So, uh, but yeah, here's some again extra superpowers figures. Again, this is the fun stuff. This is the fun stuff that I want to see.
Yes.
Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner with the hair, very fun. I like this Superman a ton.
It's
I
fun.
love
Like this
this.
whole line. It's like, hey, let's do the movie toys, the superpowers. Yes,
Yeah,
please. You
but
should
I
do this
like
for
it.
every
That's just
DC
the
movie
Kurt
ever.
Swan like thickness.
Yeah,
Actually, I don't like that. This
that's
like I feel like they should have angled this a little bit differently.
yeah.
So because it's like that's supposed to be him. You know what I mean? Like but that's actually
It's
it's kind of the '80s, right? Like if we had a Batman there, because we had Batman '89 was in, or no, Batman '89 was the same type of like mold. Was Batman '89 mold the superpowers mold for Batman?
no,
I don't no, I don't know. Might
no.
be pretty close.
It's
Um,
definitely close. Well, yeah, they only had one type of mold.
yeah, it was all the same. This I'm not super excited about. This is the Superman Treasury #1. First off, there's like 5 covers. Look, treasuries are gigantic. So like
Yes,
don't
we
do
don't want.
multiple covers of treasuries because you're just hurting these stores. These stores are going to look at these for fucking ever. You can get treasuries usually really cheap if you're at a store. Bill B gave me a stack of treasuries. He's like, get them the fuck out of here. I
No,
don't
because
want them.
they store terribly. There's no treasury size comic boxes.
Yeah.
There's no real treasury size comic bags. They take up so much room on your shelves. And if you're going to do variants, you know how much room that's going to take on a shelf?
Well, what's fun for
Um,
me, you saw when you came over the other night,
yeah,
to give me some
some
love,
blood,
love and comics, love and
some young
Chrome.
blood.
Um, I was at a thrift store, my girlfriend, and there was I thought it was a magazine rack, and it was not. It was actually
No,
they were a little larger because I don't know, I don't have any magazines on me at the time, and I should always have a Savage Sword in my back pocket.
you should.
Um, but I brought it home. The only thing it fits are treasuries. So I literally have a one, two, three, four. I have a 5. It's like 4 foot high, man. That's great.
There
So I
are
have all my
treasury.
treasuries in that.
There are.
I was gonna sell them.
I know you're not looking to. I know you're not looking to just keep things in great condition. But I used to keep all my treasury stuff in top loaders. They make treasury size top loaders.
Oh wow, okay.
And
Yeah, but I have a bicentennial that actually has like a bunch of marker on the front. I have a Superman.
yeah, if you
I
don't
have a
care, you don't care.
Superman Spider Man.
And
I have a Superman Spider Man.
and I feel like that display you got for your treasuries. I feel like it was a tile display, like where you would go to see
Oh
prototypes of
yeah,
tile.
that's
Like
funny.
you go to like a tile store. That's what I think it was for.
That's probably right. Yeah, that's okay. Hey man,
Because
whatever.
it's like,
You know what I mean?
dude, no. Listen,
It was like 15 bucks. You
how
know?
many years I kept my comics in milk crates, big plastic crates where they
Mm.
would bring your milk in. My dad would get them, and they all say not for sale. You know what I mean? You're not supposed
Right,
to
right.
own
Not
them,
for sale. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I used to keep
Yeah,
all
that
my
was that was
comics
so taboo
magazines in
when you were
them.
young. You were like, yeah, not for sale. I got
Not for
it.
sale.
It's mine. I have a stop sign that we stole from a construction site.
Yes.
But here you got your Scott Koblish variants in there. You got your Zod. I don't really care about Bruno Redondo as much. Like to me, like it's not detailed enough to make it larger for me.
I
Like
don't
it's loose, so I don't really know. That's the first one. And again, he's like, I will not do any detail on it. And I don't know. I don't know if I wanted Jurgens. Actually, my favorite one was probably my favorite one of late was the '90s. Well, was it Heaven's Ladder?
yeah, Heaven's Ladder with
The
Wade and Hitch,
Yeah, the
Justice
Waiting
League,
Edge.
Treasury.
But then there was Superman Fantastic Four, which was Jurgens and T-Bear. T-Bear, that
Yes.
one.
Yep. That one physically holds up terribly.
Really?
These treasuries weren't printed the right way, and they crinkle. Especially
Hmm.
like sometimes the covers will look fine, but inside the binding, like the comics like wavy, it looks like garbage.
That's
They
right.
didn't do
Yeah.
they didn't do a good job with some of them. Who would you pick for a Superman treasury? If you could have any top three artists, who would you want to see draw? Because Bruno
Right now?
Redondo, yeah, as talented as Bruno Redondo is, he doesn't
Uh,
scream treasury size to me.
yeah, I don't know. I would probably want Mora right now. I would want Mora. I would do a Jurgens breeding, and then if I had see if I have to go in era, uh, and then McGinnis. Yeah, I would want one, two, three.
McGinnis is
Those are my
definitely my top
boys.
three. McGinnis,
Yeah.
100%. Like, steal him away from Marvel for a month or two. Uh, you're not going to get Quitely to do anything. He's like a dream project. Did we cover Quitely at all in the news?
Yeah. Yeah, I got
Okay.
that. Mhm.
Um, yeah, those are like my main two. We're literally getting Hitch oversized right now with the
Mhm.
Lex Luthor book.
Yeah, the next one I think is next week. I think the last one's next week, so that's
Yeah,
fun.
Gary Frank would be
Um,
fun to come back.
here's a cover for that. This is a World's Finest 41 Mora, so
It's
I'm
neat.
not. That's really good. I will take that. Again, I don't know. I haven't read it. I'll have to go in the DC app and catch up on that because I read that. Well, I read whatever came out this week for reviews day, and it wasn't lost or anything. It's all in that time. Wade was on an interview this week. He's not leaving this book at all. I was, so he's not says he's not leaving this book.
Okay. All right. Listen, if you could do Superman, Superman and World's Finest, and Just League with Superman, keep going forward. You know the tragedy of Bizarro, right? Like the biggest loss we ever got was the proposed Alan Moore, Kevin O'Neill Bizarro miniseries back in the 80s.
Mm,
I was reading Alan Moore talks about it in an interview. He's like, "Yeah, I wanted to do Bizarro World and like double dive into that. Like if Superman has the Phantom Zone, I'm gonna do the Solid Zone, and it's just this big bulky cube of concrete." And Bizarro was like, "You in there?" And they're like, "Yeah, we am still in here."
mm.
You know? Or like instead of having a small bottle city Candor, it's like this huge city in a bottle that's like bigger than like Bizarro World. Like it was just like really funny, like just doing the opposite of whatever Superman has. And it's such simple ideas that seem like genius when you think about it. You know? So
It's
that's
your
one of those
boy.
80s. I don't know, dude. I
Yeah,
love.
it's an 80s lost. There was a couple Bizarro miniseries. There was a period Bizarro, which I think was Steve Gerber, if I'm not mistaken. MD
Was that?
Bright.
I know we got a Kevin O'Neill short story in one of the Superman giant sizes, I think, because I remember seeing like yellow and green. It's like we have Superman blue in the electric costume. I
Mhm.
remember there being like a yellow and a green one in a
Mhm.
Bizarro electric Superman. I don't know who wrote that. I know Kevin O'Neill drew it,
Hmm.
and that's as close as we got to Kevin O'Neill Bizarro.
Yeah. A little bit of the DC solicits. This I thought was an interesting addition. I haven't seen Phil Jimenez draw. That was always his like favorite. Was Wonder Girl here.
He loves
So,
Wonder Girl. I hope
but they're
he
doing the new stuff. Mhm.
I hope he can really dumb himself down because I think like he overworked on that Wonder Woman Hysteria book with
Yeah,
Kelly Sue DeConnick. Like he worked the hell out of that book,
it's
and like
unreadable that book. I thought it was unreadable.
it's about the right mood, Mark.
Yeah.
If you're in the right mood, all those books are great. It's a lot.
I feel like that's the thing is that I feel like with comics I should just be in any mood. You
No,
know,
and that's
should go down easy.
yes. No, you're right. Any good comic you can pick up. But if you have to be in a certain mood to read a comic, that means the comic's not like top 10, but it doesn't mean it's not good. It's just you got to be in the
Yeah.
right mood to read that book.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see. I'm curious on him coming back and doing a little bit of this. I'll take an annual here.
Yeah.
This is coming out in July. I don't know why they decided before Hush 2 to just do. I mean, they must knew Hush 2 was coming, so they do the facsimile editions for a year straight. I have no idea, and we talked about this before, why they didn't just have an All-Star Superman replica edition, facsimile edition again
Chrom-
for this entire
Chromium
fucking
cover.
year.
Just chromium cover every issue of that series.
Just whatever, man. It's so stupid. I don't know. So having a work in progress that is going to be, I guess it's going to be the 11 by 17, so that'll be closer to the original art boards. So that makes sense. I guess.
It's
Here's
cool.
some of the DC finest stuff. This is a really good Hawkman trade, um, which they have some stuff I don't think was ever printed again. I feel like some of these may not have been printed for some of these. I know the next one I know is not, but Again, 600 pages. I've yet to see these digital at all. I don't know, I'm not sure if they're not doing them digital. I feel like they definitely should. And this Spectre, I know for a fact has this All-Star Squadron stuff has never been printed before. But having the entire Spectre series, which is it's not listed here, but the best stuff in here, yeah,
Yeah,
these are all fine. These are all great artists. Okay, I'm not gonna say, hey, Neil Adams, whatever.
man.
My favorite Spectre stuff is all the Jerry Grandinetti stuff that he did, like in issue like 6, 7, 8. Like it's all really weird and trippy. Like I've featured it maybe once or twice in my on my idiosyncratic pulp Instagram. But yeah, this is kind of crazy too, though. It's like they're nine, but there was a lot of time where he just wasn't around. I think that's the thing is I feel like this is set 70, 80, 81. Then they're like, this the 27, 28. That's the Roy Thomas. I'll start 27, 28. That's probably Arvell Jones. Roy Thomas. I don't think Word Wave was doing it that late. But that's fun. Yeah, 650.
Right.
And I think that like these are all around 600 pages when 650 still $40. And I want to say that this has what's weird about this has, I believe, the entire Wrath of the Spectre stuff, the Jim Aparo stuff, all of it's in here. Kind of crazy because I feel like they did a Spectre omnibus with just that stuff in it, and they reprinted that a couple times. It's just a solid fucking trade, man.
Yeah.
I figured, yeah, this is something I think you would
Oh,
be
cool.
into.
Is there anything new in it?
It says 20 pages unseen design sketches and behind the scenes features.
We have some extra stuff in the last version of this.
Yeah, this is
I
the
love Jail Air
deluxe.
2. I love Crime Syndicate. I have a
Yeah,
sketchbook that was just chock full of artists drawing these characters. I have a double page spread. This is like crazy of Liefeld drawing the complete Earth 2 Crime Syndicate original art. That's how much I love the Crime Syndicate this time. I think since this book, there's been no great Crime Syndicate stories.
what about the Crime
Because
Syndicate
again,
mini they did a couple years ago? Is
the
that no good?
worst. That book is garbage.
The word.
No,
Jesus.
it's when you really and when you double down on characters and you have ideas, someone else comes along and does something, you're like, this isn't the Crime Syndicate at all. Like, did you ever? I feel like that dude never read Crime Syndicate before.
I don't know who did that.
So
What
I'm a,
should have done that? Who
me, baby,
did
me.
me, baby, me? What about was it Terra Obscura? That was Peter Hogan, Yannick Paquette. That was all
Yeah,
kind of like
it
that
was
was
good.
good. That I
Yeah,
would
because that
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 if
was
that
taking the
team
Alan
did.
Moore stuff. I wish that was
Mhm.
who did it. No, it's a newer guy who I know I shouldn't shit on people, but like he really did not do that team any justice. And you know what they gave him for the
Any
miniseries?
justice.
Every issue was about another Crime Syndicate character, but in the back they gave him backups that was like part of their origins. And like Brian Hitch drew at least one of them. I'm like, you
Mm.
got Brian Hitch, and you're like a nobody writer. Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Well,
I'm so
that's
sorry. I apologize to this guy. I
yeah.
just am
We're not
passionate
gonna
about
not
Crime
name drop.
Syndicate. I'm passionate about
Yeah.
Crime Syndicate. I was talking to Mark Miller, as one does, and he was telling me him and Frank. This is at the time. This is like probably 2000. Like him and Morrison together were going to write a follow-up book that was going to focus on the Crime Syndicate's version of the Teen Titans.
Mm.
And he's like, and he goes, and Vince is still going to draw it. I'm like, who? He's like, oh, Frank Quitely. And that's the first time I found out that Frank Quitely isn't his real name.
Quite frankly,
It is, quite frankly,
his name's quite frankly.
and it's yes. I forget his name. It's like Vince something or other. So, all right, we'll
Take
see.
it.
I'll take
Uh,
it.
yeah, Sam Mystery Theater Compendium 2, which I think is pretty cool. But here's what's weird about this. Why are you still, I guess just for the sake of it. I think this is also wrong because I think it says here hardcover. The compendiums are
Right?
not hardcovers. That's a crazy page count, 888, right?
Yeah.
But I think the first one was listed Black Label, but I feel like they have something else coming out, and it's like they're putting it out as Vertigo. They just keep going back and forth. And then also, which I didn't see, and maybe this was on the first of it. Let me see. Oh no. Like at the
Yeah.
time, this was probably smart for them to list the Sandman Universe classics. This is not Sandman Universe, okay? This is not because that Sandman font,
Yeah.
that's the Gaiman, that's the Predator, sexual predator Neil Gaiman font there.
Yeah.
Yikes. So this is just wrong in two spots, you know? And that's the best one. There's so many covers you can take. That's the best cover you got.
That is a
There's
bad cover
so
to
many.
use for a compendium.
So
There's
I feel like this, hopefully this is just mock-up art. It's not. I'm sure it's already done, but like that's just like shit. I understand matching it. If it has to say Black Label, fine. Cause and if it has to have this one there, fine. If the first one did have that, I have
mm,
all them. I have my original set, so I don't know if I'll ever replace that because there's a lot of good letters pages, and it was all Matt Wagner answered most of the letters himself, or Steve Siegel. So I also really like the page. I haven't seen this on. I haven't seen this yet. I don't know.
all right.
I wouldn't mind having that though, and just like grabbing it. So here's the rumor somewhat answered. The Grant Morrison mentioned that he's going to be doing something. Then they kept saying something about Superman, and then he's saying it's not Superman, it's the Batman thing. Way to go! But then he
Okay.
even kind of says, "I love Superman, but I don't have anything to say right now using Superman, so that's fine. I'm waiting to see the movie. I think the movie is where the Superman energy is right now, and I'm looking forward to that."
Yes.
So,
So here's where he's wrong because he's like, the movie's where it's at. Yes, but the movie borrows heavily from what you put into Superman. I like that he talked about Silver Age Superman is the best because that's obviously what he did with All Star Superman. It's the
mhm,
60s stuff told in a modern way, which is what Alan Moore did with Supreme, first. It's really, and Alan Moore did it with 80s Superman too. When he wrote Superman in the 80s, it was like, no, these 60s ideas are crazy. Let's
mhm,
modernize them. Let's use them in a certain way. But he's like, and he's basically saying, "Oh, it's a shame you people didn't like New 52 because where we were going was going to be the best Superman ever." Really? Because it
right,
wasn't the
right,
best at the time. Now, when we got the new 52 issue that he wrote on Krypton, that's a phenomenal issue. When he did the new 52 issue in Multiverse, where we introduced President Superman, that's
mhm.
incredible. Like all that stuff's really great. But like, I think they were both drawn by Gene Ha too. Gene Ha and Grant Morrison work pretty well together.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
But he basically says, yeah, nothing for Superman. I didn't love his new 52. There's some highlights, but like, I don't know. I feel like we didn't get
I didn't
enough
like
Grant
it.
Morrison
Yeah,
Superman.
yeah.
And Grant
It went
Morrison
away
Return of
kind of
Batman.
fast too.
Grant Morrison Batman. Meh, meh.
Yeah, I don't know. It leaned too heavily into the Zero&R stuff, and it just was like over. And then I didn't like it, and then I couldn't believe that like Chip Zdarsky come on. He's like, I'm just going to keep doing the Zero&R stuff again. I was like, yeah, we just had that. We already did that. So he
So
just did like he did a take on Morrison's take on, and I'm just
I don't
like,
do.
come
Do
on,
you cover
God
the
damn it.
sale of Frank Quitely's All Star Superman cover in the news?
Mm, no, I don't
No,
think
I
so.
guess
No.
not. Okay, so they're selling the cover to the absolute All Star Superman hardcover, and I think they're just asking 50,000 for it. And people are like, "Oh, that's so much money." And what's the name of the artist who drew the Manhattan Projects in the
Nick
Quitely style?
Pitara.
Qatar. He does this incredible rant about why it's worth it and how All Star Superman cover is like how important like Dark Knight Returns #2 cover is. Like he does this great breakdown of why it's worth 50,000. And honestly, I think if it went to
Put an
Heritage
auction.
auctions, it might even go for more.
Yeah, I don't know why there's a price on it.
Yeah, because
That doesn't make
maybe
any
Quitely
sense.
just needs 50 grand. I don't know. Quitely's like where he is art wise is like an incredible place to be art wise. Like he doesn't have to ever work again,
Mm,
but he does.
right,
So,
right.
all right, let's go on.
Yeah.
Gojira, what do
Uh,
you got here?
Here's just a fun Shin Godzilla. I don't know what Nano block is. I just thought this was fun. I thought that was fun looking. I don't know how big that is in scale. I don't know if it's that big or but I'll buy that for $1. This was just this one. So Bloody Disgusting is a pretty good website, and they just have like wacky shit all the time. They just do like a top five like wacky shit you should buy this week. That was one. I don't remember what the price is on that one. This one was pretty cool because then you have
Oh,
I
that's
think it
neat.
was I think it was $40. Oh, okay, so the 300 piece Lego style is 17.99. That's not too bad. 300 pieces, 4 inch tall,
Yeah,
3.75. She said. Um, and then this I think was like 40. So, but anyway, I couldn't find any high res of this. They might be out now. So this is again Summer of Superman comic book corner boxes. So that's fun.
no, that's really
However,
fun.
did DC have corner boxes necessarily? Not really. They had the bullet. So having corner boxes is kind of a Marvel-y thing.
They've had them. but it's never been like a big deal. They definitely have used them, and sometimes they use them without the actual corner box. It would just be an image in the top corner.
Yeah, so maybe that's what these can easily float. They don't have to be boxes. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's good. One, two.
What's purple
Uh,
chains?
I don't know. Purple chains, green chains, like they're like blue
You know what it is,
chains.
Mark? It's purple chains, purple
Oh, I see.
chains. I
It's got
can't believe you didn't sing that
Converse.
first.
I know.
I
You like the
know.
Converse? You good on that?
Whatever.
I like
Listen,
that Superman. That
If I
Superman
were
design.
Superman, I'd wear sneakers too.
Listen, I really want that book, that Skylar Partridge book, and I know Wade is pretty excited about it, so
Yeah,
I'm pretty good at it. And there's your crypto. So
love it.
now crypto is
It's
just
also the year of
officially the
crypto.
James Gunn crypto. So crypto is no longer a Dalmatian. So
It's a slow change.
not really. So anyway, so here's another. We talked about this before. This was ongoing. So the Neil Gaiman, second Neil Gaiman allegations. I guess this was a project coming out through. Not only are they canceling, so this was a book, and Nasty Boys was a Neil Gaiman novel, I guess. And
Right.
then Mark Bernardin, Sean Bartenborough were doing the Dark Horse miniseries, to which it's not finishing.
Not
They're
finishing the
not
last
finishing.
issue.
The last issue is probably done. Not finishing. Way to go. They probably still got paid. And then they canceled the hardcover collection. Fuck you. You know what I mean? That's so dumb. And now, basically, it was a couple interviews. Actually, what sucks is this guy's a great actor. Del Orlando's great.
Yeah.
He was in. We just talked about Get Shorty. He was in Get Shorty.
Right.
What about Be Cool? I don't think he's in Be
Be cool.
Cool. Be Cool's
No,
not as good.
he was.
But in Get Shorty, really good. But he's in two projects that are canceled because he was also going to be in Blade. I don't know what he was going to be in Blade. He was supposed to be in the Mahershala Ali Blade. That ain't happened. He's going to be in this. He was in some podcast promoting something. He's saying, shit, this ain't happening either, probably. Great. You know what I mean? So,
That sucks because he's an actor of he's older. You know, he doesn't have a lot of time, so he's got to pick and choose his
yeah.
projects. And to have two
Yeah.
of them canceled, or one, they're both put on pause.
Yeah.
So
That
yeah.
Blade movie ain't never happening, man. So this is a bummer. That's a bummer. Here's some David Corn Sweat covers.
Who
Uh,
did that?
I think that was Nicola Scott. I think I have it in there.
All right, that makes sense.
There's a Jorge. There's your Jorge
Beautiful.
Ordway. There you go. There's
Ah, how
big
awesome.
thick fucking Superman. Yeah, give me that. Give me that. But yeah, what I think is kind of, I feel like this is very. I just I hate when I see all the lines. If this is really, I know what this is what the costume looks like technically. I just hate that it's so fucking designed. I hate it. You know, I know it is but like it just looks,
It's
you
fine.
know,
I don't. It doesn't bother me.
bothers me.
Quietly, that's nice.
Yeah. There's
Beautiful.
your there's your Dan Mora. Dan Mora, I think did the least changing of his style. Just change his face a little bit. That's good for me. I
It's
like
funny
that.
because like that's probably more accurate to like how thin Corn Sweat is. Corn Sweat, he bulked
Yeah.
up, but he didn't bulk up enough.
Right. Yeah. I'm still not. Look, I think there's your Dan Jurgens, which is really bad. That's just a tight, just head on. Give me an angle on that fucking thing. I
Yeah,
need an angle. That is just no good. The foreshortening in the legs, bad. That super cock, not that good. Norm
not good.
Rapmond, it's okay. I do think it's interesting. Dan Jurgens doing a funny, doing a crazy signature there. He's doing a different signature than he normally does. What are you doing, Jurgens? Listen, whatever. Get paid, bro.
Get paid, bro.
Um, Now I don't know. Cal Kestis is in to whatever Star Wars like video games, but I kept seeing this and I was like, is this a parody of something? Did he literally get like a mullet and it's some type of like disguise in the most recent thing? Maybe I'll have to go on YouTube and watch like the last video game that he was in. Because they sell it as both. They sell it with a regular Cal Kestis head, which is Joker. Who was the guy he was in Shameless, I think, too? Who was the guy who was Joker on Gotham?
Oh, uh, I forget his name.
The
He plays
Joker,
Ian
non-Joker?
on Shameless, right? Yeah, I like him a
Yeah,
lot. Like he's
yeah.
actually a really good actor.
He does like mocap on this. So the Cal
Yes.
Kestis, video games, he does a lot of work inside of it. So it's him. So if they ever do a movie or something or other, I did not cover in the news this week just because I feel like it's such a bad. The Star Wars celebration is going on in Japan right now,
Yeah.
but they run the live streams and then they just black out whenever the trailer's going to be there. But you figure they put the trailer out like the next day, and they just don't. Like, just do it.
Well,
Whoever's there is there. They already paid their money. They're not going to be mad if they
let's
show a trailer to us.
so
You know what I'm
let's
saying?
take a minute. Let's take a minute and just run through the news real fast. We don't have to comment that much. But what do they show? They talk about the new Star Wars movie by Sean Levy, starring Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling. Is that like the biggest news?
Yeah, Starfight. Well, because it was a rumor, and then he goes on stage. Sean Levy goes on stage and he says, "We hear that rumor. Here he is," and he comes out and he's fine.
It's
Ryan
fine.
Gosling's
No,
fine.
that could be a really good movie. We hope Star Wars needs something,
Mm.
and it needs something good. Like we're getting Andor this week, so we hope that's good. We love the first season of Andor.
Yeah, they're doing a three,
Eb, Eb, and,
two,
just-
two
and
episodes, three
Eben
episodes, something
Moss,
like that.
Eben Moss Backrack. People forget
Yeah.
he was in the first season of Andor,
Oh yeah, that's right. The
and
thing,
it's funny. I finally learned his name. I kept like not knowing his name. I just because I love that actor, but
Richie, cousin
he's
Richie.
Richie. Yeah, cousin Richie's great, dude.
Yeah, I want again. I want a different thing voice.
You know
Not
what
his
we
fault
need? We need the Thing once during the Marvel Universe proper to come in contact with the Punisher. Give us that scene.
because it's microchip. Because he's microchip, right? He's microchip in the Punisher series.
Who
Eben Moss Backrack. He's microchip.
was he?
Yeah, in the first season. Yep. I
Was
don't
he
think he's in the
really?
second season. Yeah.
I totally forgot that. I
Yeah,
was thinking
man.
more for the Bear for because John Barenthal and him are both in the Bear.
Nope.
I didn't know because it's been so long. I wasn't familiar with him when they did the first season of Punisher, but I
Mhm.
was familiar with him from Girls. He was on Girls for a couple
Oh, that's right.
seasons.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Man, there was somebody else I just was thinking it was like a similar connection in that way, too. But yeah. What was Constantine, right? So you have Constantine, the movie Constantine,
Right,
and then you have because the guy who was the cab driver, Shia LaBeouf was the cab driver in Constantine,
right, right.
which I hated, which I hated by the way. So
Yeah.
here's your Hurricane Hordak. So this is similar to what we looked at earlier of the Master of the Universe, the Master Universe, but this has the original, I guess, Hordak that was in the storybook, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So he was in
Oh,
this,
neat.
and then so the art there, I think that's newer art. I think, yeah, it's Tom Riley.
We need a
Or
new
no, that's
collection.
that's Riley O'Brown. That's Riley Brown.
All
Oh
right,
wow.
we need a new collection of all because Mattel keeps doing these Masters of the Universe lines, books. They keep doing mini comics. But
Mm,
like Dark Horse did these incredible collections of all the mini comics. If you don't have them, get them.
yeah, yeah. I
They're
would, I would, I would
okay.
have it. Yeah.
They're incredible. I think there's 2 volumes. There's so many mini comics they did. But now they've done almost another hardcover worth of mini comics since then. So hopefully Dark Horse,
Yeah, well,
because they get,
Dark Horse did an art book of the Revel Art of Revelation, so they have that. Oh, and
yeah.
also that was news. I meant to put that in. They solicited the Netflix series on Blu-ray, but it now says the complete series. So I guess no sequel for you. No sequel
Boo.
for you.
So
That's it.
that's
So
15 episodes total, and they are the last season's really good.
it's 15 episodes
I feel,
for
especially
season one
I
and two.
feel no, there's 10 in the first season because the first
Mm,
season technically, I think they broke it up 5 and 5, so they technically
mm,
call it seasons 1, 2, and 3. But there's a setup for
mm.
season 4.
No
And it
dice.
sucks.
Sorry,
No,
buddy.
no dice. Great voice. You know what it is? Everyone wanted to hate that show. Everyone thought it was
Mm.
all woked out. And then you get the
Woke
show,
out.
and it's nothing like what they were complaining about. But the people still kind of refuse to watch it. And then as the fans trickled in, they're like, "Yeah, this is really good." And
That
the third season
yeah.
is like great.
The
It's like
first week I felt bad because the first week that when that got like just like internet panned,
yeah,
like he still did his shows. Like he still did like the Fat Man on Batman and
hmm
he just was like depressed. Do you remember how depressed he was? He was just like sad and kind of lashing out at fans and stuff. Like there was some bad recordings right around then. Probably should not have had the microphone on.
yeah.
Uh
But the show
it's
ends up
got to be
being good.
frustrating. He puts all his fucking work out into it, and then even myself, I watched one episode of it. I don't. I feel like I have such bad attention span, dude. My attention span terrible. So last night, remember weeks ago we talked about Warlord. It's like two
Yeah.
three weeks ago.
Mhm.
So last night I must have put it in my queue. I had the episode of JLU up. It's JLU season 3, episode 3, or something like that, where they go into Skataris. just like a random episode of Justice League Unlimited just by itself. And I just had it in the queue, and I was kind of having that on last night as I was pulling news. So, uh, but anyway, yeah. So they need to do. You're right. They need to do a new mini comic if this is a new mini comic. I think that's what it was. I think that either they had like an early mini comic with him with that head like that.
Yeah,
So that's really cool. It also
give us.
looks like I don't know if they're glow in the dark.
They
I
look
hope
good.
so.
I don't know. Yeah,
Glow in the dark.
Mattel's like, listen, all we have is he. Mattel is two things: He-Man and Barbie. So it's like they just have to always double down, triple down, quadruple down on
Yeah.
these. Go, yeah, stick on He-Man for a second. They got to do that because this is all they have, and Hot Wheels. You know
Well,
what's funny?
they got
I
DC
for some
soon.
reason
You
I
know.
thought Hasbro owned Matchbox. I was wrong. Tyco owned Matchbox, and
Mm.
Mattel bought Matchbox. That's why. That's why I was complaining before because they're making Transformer Hot Wheels like Optimus Prime, and they're doing Ultra
Yeah.
Magnus right now.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, why are they doing that? I thought Hasbro owned Matchbox. No,
Yeah, I thought they did
Mattel
too.
Mattel owns them both,
Mm.
so they have all the. And Hot Wheels have always been the better car anyway, but they still keep the Matchbox brand. They're still a Matchbox loyalist.
Right.
So
Right.
He-Man news, they're not particularly big actors, but they casted Mossman and Mechanic. Dude, Mechanic. Mechanic is in this He-Man movie. You know how crazy that is?
Who's Moss Man? Do you remember who it was?
No, I
Anything?
don't remember the actor.
Yeah. Fine
They
cast.
are hiring actors who like aren't big names, and I think that's better. I think that's better. Like you keep your big
Yeah.
actors. This movie's been casted the hell out of this movie. I just hope they don't kill anyone. Like don't give me any cannon. Like don't bring in Mechanic and then he's like cannon fodder.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah,
But
they
the
shouldn't
only
kill
people,
any of these characters really.
no, the only people I haven't heard yet that's still crazy is like I haven't heard they haven't casted Merman or Beastman, and you can't do those movies without Merman and Beastman.
No, the Beastman's in it. Beastman's. I think that they have a screen. They have a screen cap. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't, maybe it's a voice. It might be CG because I'm
No,
pretty
no,
sure that
they both might be voices.
I think Beastman. They have him on set. They have like a set photo or something. They assume that one person that's down there is Beastman. So
Hmm. Could be
I
Goat
don't know.
Man.
We're ready. We're ready
All
for it.
right, we are ready.
Here we go. So this is good. This is a good callback here. I'll do that. So now we're gonna have, I guess, every Marvel artist. I actually kind of commend them for grabbing Adam Hughes, who worked on the original Marvel swimsuit specials.
Yes.
Um, so that's pretty fun. So I like that. I don't. It doesn't say if it's gonna be magazine size. It just says it's a. It looks like it's going. Actually, just by looking at the scale of this, I feel like it is.
So is it a story involving? Is
Oh
there a
God, I hope
story
not.
too? Because it says Fleeks and Tim Seeley are
Yeah,
as
but hopefully,
writers.
yeah, but I hope it's just entries. I hope it's
It's
just
funny.
entries.
I was looking up some Youngblood original artwork. You know who owns a lot of Extreme original artwork? Tony Fleeks. I was on comic. Is it comicsart.com?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Comicart.com. I'm like Tony Fleeks. He owns like Roger Cruz pages, Liefeld pages.
Good.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
He's not. I don't think he's a rich guy. He's doing okay right now. But like that's kind of funny.
He might have grabbed some good bank when he first started on like all that My Little Pony crazy shit when that first started.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that was like crazy. Um so no, I'll take this. I'll take that. That's a good, this,
Listen,
that's
DC's
your
been
Mark
doing
books.
swimsuit variant covers, so why wouldn't Marvel do a Return of Swimsuit special? We love
It's
it.
a fine.
I
Touring
mean,
car is
Extreme
fine.
did a couple, Wildstorm did a couple. You know,
Yeah.
comic fans like this stuff.
I think Daughterman's, I guess, is just a cover artist now. I don't think he does anything interior anymore. It's a bummer. I like his Thor run a lot. I thought his Thor run was really good. War of the Realms was good. He's like, I'm doing War of the
Yeah.
Realms, I'm
No,
retiring.
I liked him a lot.
On
Yeah.
that, and that's it. Um, so these were a couple things announced. Viz is doing a Path of the Lightsaber, which looked pretty good, and then Dark Horse is doing. So that's this. That looked pretty good. It looks dynamic.
Looks
I don't
neat.
know if that's. I
It
probably will
reminds me of
not be
those
in color.
didn't Warren did Adam Warren did he do Star Wars adaptations of the movies?
No, he did the covers
He did the
for
covers for the manga
this.
versions. Okay.
Yeah, so but Dark Horse is putting out a two-volume of this, which is just going to be the art of that. Because the first one's nuts. The first one is the art's incredible. The
Yeah,
second
I
and third
remember.
one are not nearly as good. But whoever, I don't remember who drew this. Does it say here? Uh, Sayo Tamaki. Yeah, so two. Let me see. A large format edition reproducing art in its original size into 176 hardcover volumes with a 104-page additional volume. So 3 volumes? I'm very confused. It says 2 volume set. And then it's like, but there might be a third volume. So I don't know.
All right, whatever.
And feature a new translation. I think, yeah, I had those. I think I sold them. Yeah, it's a bummer. Um, but when they came out, I
Really
think
good
when they
Adam
came out
hardcovers though.
originally, they were reversed though. Because whenever I
Yeah.
looked at the Millennium Falcon, I'm just like, oh no, because they would, they just mirrored
Did
it.
they reverse it?
Yeah,
Gross.
pretty sure.
Listen,
Yeah,
listen. I have no problem, even though I've read 100,000 comics. I think that's an actual accurate number.
yeah,
I have no problem reading a manga the way it's supposed to be read. It takes like a minute to adjust. Reading a comic backwards to read a manga is easy. Doing the panels backwards takes like a second, but it's not like hard. Whatever. Print it the way it's supposed to be printed.
yeah. I'll see. Well, we'll
We'll
see.
see.
And then this is going to be a Thrawn, and that's through
Viz. Is that what I saw? Viz.
Viz. Doesn't say.
Yeah, published by Viz Media. It's the second after.
Okay, but that's a criminal based on the video game. Okay, so there's two different ones. So yeah, there we go. Okay, crazy,
Oh,
crazy,
then
crazy,
Dark
crazy.
Horse does some.
Yeah, so this is probably
That's
Viz.
funny.
Definitely Viz.
Dark Horse.
Yeah,
Eating
again, just
Crow.
just just do all of it. This was announced. So this is basically going to be combining everything, right? So there's been Reckless stories for so long. We've had the five of those. I think it was five, and
Yeah.
that's kind of capped for a little bit. We know that Criminal, the TV show is on, so plop this right there. I wonder if when it comes out, and I know they put 15 pages up today, this morning,
Right.
of this, but I think this is like 100 and I think I put it in here as 100. So it's going to be the same. It's going to be a hardcover
Same
advanced
length as the.
illicit, 200
All right.
pages, 30
Oh, 200
bucks.
pages. Wow.
Yeah. 200 pages, three dark journeys, wind. So there's three stories kind of just, it's all going to be interweaving shit.
I
Okay.
hope this sells good because I know he said the criminal ongoing series was like diminishing returns every issue. Sad.
Oh, I see. So it's a criminal book here. Well, what's weird is that they put out, I want to say that one of these, it's a bad weekend. No, I want to say that My Heroes Always Be Junkies is technically a criminal book, even though it came out and it's loosely in there. So
Right.
doesn't
Right.
matter. They could all be secret.
Well, Bad
But
Weekend didn't feel like a criminal comic,
Jacob
and that was within
Kurtz,
the confines of the criminal series.
yeah,
Regardless, I'm excited. I'm excited to get a new criminal story. I would love to You know what it is? It's like I would love to reread Criminal before the show, but then I feel like it would take away from the show. So I feel like let me watch
right.
the show raw, so I can
Mhm.
almost be surprised by the storylines. Because honestly, I forget. I don't remember all the details of the comic because it's been so long. So I think when I watch that show, and I'll watch it with my wife because I can get her to watch a criminal show.
Yeah, yeah.
We can watch it fresh.
I'll take it. That's fine.
I'll take it.
And then Marquez, who I guess hasn't really been drawing Uncanny X-Men, maybe because he's working on this over here. That's fine. Okay. So I don't know. I'm not sure if he can write. Not sure. It is funny that like yeah, he's got Peach Momoko who's also like I thought was a Marvel, maybe not exclusive, but you got Momoko doing the
I
variants on
I
this.
wonder if Liefeld knew about this because he made a comment the other day about a big artist writing, and he's like so proud of them for taking that step on their own, like a big
Okay.
artist to write his own book. And I wonder if this is it
Yeah, maybe.
because
I'm curious.
Liefeld is very pro artists trying to write.
Hmm.
Not all artists want to, but some do. Some have ideas, you know. So why would we let them try? They already got the skills down. He's already a storyteller.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't it's he's like a newer I think and maybe he'll turn into like a Sean Gordon Murphy, right? Remember Sean Gordon Murphy came out when he first came out, I didn't really care about his stuff. I thought Joe the Barbarian was fine. I thought Punk Rock Jesus was always in the wrong format. I always thought like it's never in color. I always thought it should have been in color. They already Punk Rock Jesus today, for Easter. Um, but I don't know. Yeah, well, I'll take it. I feel like Marquez, Greg Smallwood, Sean Gordon Murphy, like all in that, they're all kind of the slightly newer class.
Right.
But that's okay. We'll see.
Yeah,
And then
it's funny. I was looking at Tokyo Ghost the other day, and I'm like, man, I love this book so much.
yeah, that's really fun. That's where you kind of
That's
saw like it's got a
beautiful.
little bit
Yeah.
more legs. And then same thing with Black Science when Scalera started just branching out and doing bigger work.
Yeah.
Same thing with
Rick Remender
Dragata.
Rick Remender has an eye for like that style of artist. He's
Yeah.
just like I don't think he's chosen like a bad artist yet for all
No.
his
No, I
generator
think that's yeah,
comics.
the giant generator. So
Right.
yeah, so I'm curious on this. And then this just kind of bummed me out. I was looking at the Archie solicits. The Archie solicits literally is one book. I guess it's literally just the Archie, you know, meets Jay and Silent Bob, and
Yeah.
then
For mature audiences.
Jumbo Comics. That's it. Like I'm just bummed out because I feel like they had such a good like run on their lines and probably just didn't sell. Because remember they had a good horror line, then they did like Jughead the Hunger, which Michael Walsh drew, which was him as werewolf. You know what I mean? Like, and then you had a bunch. Then you had like Archie Comics versus the World, which was like a Fist of the North Star takeoff. Then they had recently they had like a lot of Sabrina success, and then I just feel like that I thought they were going to keep doing something. I at least want one entry of that per month, and now that I feel like it's hardly anything, and I don't even see a new. I just see Jumbo stuff, which usually these are reprints. What's down there, the Jumbo comic stuff, they're all reprints. So I'm just like, man, are we done here? You know?
Who was it? Somebody the other day. If I could find it. I'll show it to you. Somebody the other day. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it.
Somebody the other
Um,
day.
you know, something different topic about Archie. They got harassed so badly when they tried to do a Kickstarter early on. And it was like, oh, you're a comic company. You shouldn't be doing Kickstarter. Kickstarter's just for us newbies. And it was kind of
Mm,
like I kind of agree with people, but like is really Archie making that much money to begin with? But now everybody does Kickstarter.
right.
Skybound, which is a super profitable, in my mind, comic company, they are doing Kickstarters. So like maybe, I'm not going to complain if Archie goes. I think it's a step down for a comic company. So I don't
Mm.
know. It's kind of a shame. Like, maybe they should do it. I don't know what it takes. I don't want to see Archie go away. I don't buy Archie comics that often. I mean,
No, I
I probably
know.
get. I mean, Kevin Smith. That's a more likely one to get.
Well, that's just going to be, I mean, listen, he's going to have a certain fan base. He was on Instagram, I think this morning. They just did the mix of Dogma, and it is going to be, we should look. I think it's late May or June that they're doing some Dogma screenings up in at the Smart Castle Cinemas, but none of them are weekend days, from what I could tell. It looks like Wednesday, Thursdays. So it's like he's doing two shows. So I wonder if he's going to scatter it. So Kevin Smith owns a his childhood movie theater. He bought his own childhood movie theater, and then he does little shows and does screenings and Q&As afterwards there at that. So I think I would like to try and do that, but it seems like he has a 7 o'clock and an 8:30. So I wonder if he's introing it, leaving, doing the Q&A, and then when that Q&A is over, the movie's over at the next one. Double stack. Good for him. If that's what he's doing, I have to look at it. The good thing with I think his website and his is he'll charge more, but you'll know that's what it is. Even though I heard sometimes he'll just kind of pop in and sit down and watch a movie with you, which is kind of funny as well if he's
That's
there.
kind of funny.
If he's there. So um, that's all the news I had. I don't know if
Okay.
there's a couple things that probably just trickled in, but I think we got the majority of it. You want to go into
Oh,
your we're in
one.
your folder now, unless you have anything else that I can plop in. The plop.
Yeah, real quick. I just sent something to you in chat. Is what I was talking about. There we go. Put that up before we get into my other news. This was
Yes.
something Chance Wolf. He
Oh,
he kind of redrew this Veronica drawing, and he's making like a 7 foot poster out of it. Like so
wow.
he just upgraded it, drew it, upgraded. So now it's like 7 foot or 6 foot print worthy of it. I'm like, good for you, dude. That's fun. Like it's a good Veronica drawing.
Gonna be a door
Yeah,
poster,
yes,
like the Joe Jusko Mary Jane door poster.
yeah. That's
That'd be a
that's a
good door
good. He's
poster.
doing a good Dan DeCarlo style there. I like it. Good for
Take
him.
it.
It's fun. I love finding that type of stuff online. There we
Boom.
go. There we go. This is the original art to the back of Nightmare on Elm Street magazine #2. Sam Keith, really gorgeous piece. I love it. Funny enough,
Said
it
number
says at the
four.
bottom, cover to #4.
Mhm.
This magazine only lasted 2 issues, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe three, but definitely 2 issues.
Yeah, it's weird like that he doesn't do a he has his signature over here and then he has like a paste in here.
Interesting. So I
What
love
are
this
you doing?
piece. This is a callback, Mark. We had talked about this in the past. This is all I could find, but these are panels to the unpublished Peter David Sam Keith Nightmare on Elm Street story. That
Mm,
probably was going to be in issue 4. Like his cover, he was getting his own cover to his issue.
right.
I need this, dude. I need this story. Like this is it. Somebody Sam Keith posted this on his blog, and I was like, what? Like I've been talking about this for years. We didn't really know if it existed here on Awestruck Comics. We love to talk about unpublished stories,
Look at that Sam
rumors
Keith
we hear.
tree. Ugh.
And this is Sam Keith, like I think uh Blood Hunger, the Marvel Comics
Yeah.
Presents story. So this is good stuff, dude. Like I really wish we can get this. And it's not enough here for us to do a separate podcast about, but it's enough
Mhm.
to tap onto our news like, hey, this is out there. So if we hear more, we'll let you know first.
You heard it here first, and you heard it
So
here last.
yeah, great
Ooh.
stuff. This is awesome. Carl Kiesel posted this. This was a gift to Julius Schwartz. This is a great issue of Superman written by Elliot S. Maggin, um, where they find a homeless man in our DC universe. And this homeless man is a DC Universe Earth One's version of Julius Schwartz, and I think he's dying. So Superman, to ruin the story for you, he takes Julius Schwartz, the homeless bum, and takes him to Earth Prime, where he's the editor of DC Comics.
Mm.
One of the fun parts of the story for me is they're trying to figure out who this homeless guy is, and Perry White's like, "Oh, well, before I ran the Daily Planet, me and this guy started a comic company, and we created this Ultraman, which is like a Superman with like a yellow cape. But when Superman showed up, nobody wanted to buy Ultraman, and we had Night Wizard. And when Batman showed up, nobody wanted to buy Night Wizard, and so on. Warrior Woman, we created, but then Wonder Woman shows up, and I'm like, how cool! Like they're almost doing like it's a super meta issue. Um, so this is like everyone at DC signed this piece of original art and gave it to Julius Schwartz. My connection to this is I have this issue of Superman, and I got two signatures on it. I got Elias Maggin and Julius Schwartz to sign it.
Oh
I
wow.
met Julius Schwartz once. Great guy, great stories. Probably a lot of BS in the stories, but whatever. He's telling the story. I just thought it was really cool, and I thought I wanted to share it with everyone.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like looking at it, I'm not even sure Billy S. Megan is even on here, right? And then Julie Schwartz
I
is
didn't.
not signing his own shit. You know,
Correct.
that's funny.
It's a really good issue. Like everyone should definitely read this issue. It's Superman. I should have looked it up, but I didn't have time this morning.
I
It's
feel
in
like
the
there's a
early
couple
400s, I
issues
think.
around this time that isn't there one where like you see them create or you have like two guys that are basically Siegel and Schuster. It was right around this time too, I think, as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's
Um,
the early 400s Superman, where Elliot S. Maga was writing it, and it was just good issue after good issue after good. Like he's a really great Superman writer, probably the best writer of the late 70s, early 80s.
yeah, just by looking at it here, what's funny is you have Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill says
I see
which
Toddleben.
was
Yeah,
forcefully Alan Moore, right there, baby. A Dog,
yeah.
Gray Morrow, Kyle Baker, Sienkiewicz, Jansen, Eduardo Barreto,
Oh,
Marshall Rogers,
so let me connect this back to you,
Howard
Mark.
Bender,
Guess who owns this page today?
Mike Abonomi.
Nick Barucci.
Oh, really?
Yep,
What?
your boy Nick, who we
Your
love.
boy. I didn't know that. Is that on
Carl Kessel says it. Carl
Jean-Marc
Kiesel.
Lafossifier? Yeah, it is crazy. That's a crazy lot. Ray Bradbury. Oh man,
Yeah,
that's I can look at. I just want to look at all the signatures.
yeah.
Wait, doop, doop, doop.
So let's move forward here. What do we got? These are
What's
two
this?
pages. This is two pages from Giant Size Youngblood. It's the 50th anniversary of Giant Size X-Men,
That
and
Kodiak?
Liefeld. That is Kodiak from Newman.
Yeah.
Liefeld
Boom.
posted these two pages up. He's a big X-Men fan more than anything. So Giant Size X-Men, super important in his childhood. So he wanted to do a Giant Size Youngblood, and he's drawing this while drawing the Youngblood series. We just got Youngblood #1 this week. We're going to talk about it.
Right.
Um, yeah, this stuff looks good. I think it's inked by Chance Wolf. I think this is Chance Wolf inks on both.
Mm.
Double Chance Wolf, dude.
Double chance.
Chance Wolf is doing more work now than I've seen since his Shadowhawk days. So I think this will be fun. I'm excited about it.
Oh,
We're excited about all things Youngblood.
giant size.
These are Seth the Moose is doing at the very least a Bedrock miniseries. I don't know if it's a one-shot miniseries, don't know. But Seth the Moose has been around comics for a while. I think these are really cool Bedrock pages. I think he's drawing a Thundercats issue upcoming.
Okay. Huh.
So he's got a cartoony Chris Pichello style, like Chris
Is that a
Pichello
New Man guy? That's the fat guy from New Man. New
Girth.
Man?
I think his
Girth,
name's
baby.
Girth. Yeah,
Look at
this is fun.
this.
And you know what? I think
Great.
Liefeld wrote it, and then Seth the Moose is he's just having a lot of fun with this. He's got the Observations T-shirt,
That's funny.
dude. I think this is gonna be. And you know what's great? Like we get Youngblood, we're getting it's such a Liefeld style, but he's still cool enough to like, hey, this guy draws nothing like me. I don't need people drawing like me. I can just get whoever I want to. So this is cool.
Yeah, it's neat. It's a squat like Pearson or like Philip Bond or something. So it's
Yes.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool. I'll take it. Take the duo shade. I have a lot of pages. Wow. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I didn't preview this.
No, it's fine, and it's funner that way. I grabbed a bunch of preview pages, and these are just pages I grabbed from his Twitter. He's us, dude. Here's a awesome Wildcats picture. We love it.
Like, is
Youngblood
that
picture.
how he got his job? I got
You
the
know what?
job.
Could
The
be.
job from that.
Could be.
Very
I love
possible.
it,
That's
dude.
fine.
Die Hard, Riptide, Bedrock Grifter. Maybe he'll draw that next issue. Maybe he'll put that story in. We'll finish up the Bedrock Grifter story.
Yeah, is that the costume for Bedrock Rifter? Does that sound right? Does that look right?
I think so.
Probably.
Probably looks cool.
Yeah, these are
I don't
fun.
mind
They
it.
look what's funny is like it's the art, the sketchbook looks like 90s sketchbook stuff, like Jim Mahfood or something. But
Yeah, like
then
Prophet and
it's like, but
Cable.
then you have like the Procreate like shading and stuff, and the duo shades, which are much easier than cutting it. And who was
Yes,
it? Was it who was it that talked about the duo shade?
Larson talks a lot about it.
Yeah, but
He's just found a whole box of it.
yeah, but who did it that it was like the cheapest way for them to do it? Were they cutting pictures in? They were cutting. I don't remember if it was Mike Grell or somebody like that. Like,
Chaykin
I f
loves it.
yeah, but I feel like there was some artist that couldn't afford it, so they like they cut pieces of their art out and then they photocopied it. So like literally they would like draw like a hole, say they would draw like a hole in the actual artboard and then
Yeah.
just have the duo shade just be behind it. Then they would photocopy that. I
Oh
forget
my
what artist
God,
did it. Yeah, I'll see if I can figure it. I probably won't
that's
never figure it
horrible.
out. It's horrible probably for the art market, yeah, but at the time for time and the fact that you didn't have to cut it out and then like glue it on and shit, like yeah, somebody this week talked about duo shade and then that's not something they normally do and then they put it to a picture and I was like, it looks pretty and it's all on paper too. I was like, you did that? You decided to put it on that? That seemed really difficult. You made it really hard for yourself. Where this is just literally like a paste in, you know.
Yeah,
This is a real on paper. So this would be basically probably maybe on paper, then thrown into Photoshop or thrown into Procreate.
that seems to be the way a
I
lot of
like
people are
that.
doing it now.
It's fine. Or even this could be like, when Liefeld would draw his his like, his sketches, give it to Marat, and then Marat would do a blow up on
Yeah,
it.
cool
So that's fun.
Suprema. Like as we're
Yeah.
going along, these are getting older and older. This
Oh,
is a
okay.
page Liefeld just posted. That's the last one, I think, Suprema.
That's the
Liefeld
first Die
posted.
Hard, right? I
It
just
is
saw
first
this
Die
this
Hard.
morning. Yeah.
Yes, this is
Well,
fun
he's like
stuff,
13 or
dude.
14.
I mean, 13, that's really good, dude. At 13, we were learning perspectives. We were learning buildings. You remember art class when you were 13?
Yeah.
Like this is all the stuff that we were learning in art class in like middle school. It's fun. It's a funny page. It's like the guy dude's all like, "I'm the best," and then Dyer's just like, "Blam!" right in your face. This is what 13-year-olds draw.
Yeah. Oh,
This, you know, what this is
this is as that's the top, that's
front row.
front
If you can't
row.
sit in the upper deck, yes, sit in the front row. This is a
It's
Atomic
funny.
Farming.
They don't look that good. Isn't that funny?
He paid a lot of money for these pictures.
I know.
He had to pay photographers for these pictures, and they're not great. And it's no wonder NHL didn't give their license over to him when he tried to do this. He tried to do this after Spider-Man. He wanted to own a card company. He's just such a hardcore hockey fan. He's Canadian, so it's in their blood. So Eric Lindros lived in Voorhees. You know that?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I was going to mention that because I met him in a Zagaras. Zagaras was a high end like grocery store,
Okay.
It was pre Whole Foods, and it was all like fruits and shit. And I was dating this girl named Lisa, and she had a car. She was older than me,
Lisa, you're killing me.
and we went, Lisa, you're driving me. I'm trying to remember the words.
I know. I
You're
forget by
tearing
this
me
moment.
apart, Lisa.
Yeah.
That's it. And he goes like this. That's it. Yeah, you're tearing me apart,
Tearing
Lisa.
me apart, Lisa.
Um, yeah, but that's what's really funny there is he was in, and it was like a crowd fast too. I felt bad for him because he was like shopping, and then like the crowd like came to, it was like 30 people like fast. And you
Wow.
could tell he was getting like weird and panicked. But the thing with Lindros too, and he came up this week at work where someone was talking about something. He never got as good as he was supposed to get. He never got as good as he was supposed to get, and then he got traded, and I think he
For,
did wherever this was, wherever he
for
went
the
to
yeah, for the people
for
listening, like
Philly for Flyers. Yeah,
yeah, he played for the Flyers, Philadelphia Flyers, and he
he
was
was
just
signed. It was going to make, and the Flyers going to be they were just going to go all the way, and they never did, and he never got good. I think he got hurt. It was like a Dr. Andy situation. So Dr. Andy worked for us at Legends, right? But he was good for like 2 weeks, and he got into a car accident. He hurt his back, and I feel like he was never good again. He was never as good as he was like the first 2 weeks. I was like, this guy's great.
he
He worked
he
all
was
the time, and then it
not
became like low
attractive.
energy.
He's a not attractive short man with he looked like Robert Picardo,
Yeah, yeah,
the hologram doctor from Star Trek Voyager,
mhm,
but with a ponytail and a trench coat
yeah,
and usually a baseball cap. And he had the theory of like you asked 100 girls out and one will say yes. And he was very that was his thing. And it worked for him because he always had a girlfriend.
yeah.
Maybe age inappropriate, but like he always had a girlfriend.
Mhm.
And that's the most we'll ever talk about Doc Andy. He had good Transformer talks. I had good Transformer conversations with him.
Okay, but I felt like he was never, and I couldn't fire him because I needed someone on shift. So
Right.
like, but I would go into work, and he'd be like sitting either behind the counter, and you couldn't see like he wasn't there at all, or he'd be sitting on the counter, which I said, don't sit on the counter. Like he would be literally up on the counter, like Indian style, like reading a comic book. No,
Native American.
or he was behind Native American style. That sounds worse. Or he was behind, like in the bins. I'd walk in. I'm like, no one's working. Like I would come in and be like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like, it wasn't that hard of a boss, by the way,
Yeah.
but it was, certain things annoyed me. So,
Yeah. Now
oh
here's the
no,
prize. The prize is the
oh boy,
McFarlane caricatures on the back.
oof,
McFarlane loves to do caricatures, which as a McFarlane fan, we hate when McFarlane does caricatures. Like,
yeah, I don't like these at all. Holy
no,
crap.
no, it's yeah. This is a Liefeld picture again.
Oh
He had
boy,
this sheet, and they turn and we get it.
run
If
roll.
you no seriously, if you were and McFarlane should have known this. People don't always love caricatures of themselves. Like, do you think you think Trevor Linden wants to see big ears and a big forehead? You think Brett Hull
Yes.
wants to see a pointy ass nose and chin?
Yeah,
No,
I think
it's
Lindros would
like
probably be okay. He'd be like, I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's like he Supermaned him up.
yeah.
Like nobody wants to see that. So I totally know why NHL turned him down.
Um,
It's so
that being
obvious.
said,
And
knowing the few people that I know, that's a great Brett Hull. I think that's actually great, and even the Wayne Gretzky is actually really great too.
oh no, okay,
So, like,
they're good caricatures. They're good.
yeah,
He definitely. I always go with Angelo Torres first, but it's
mm.
more Drucker. He'll more Drucker these guys up.
Or J. Scott Campbell,
J. Scott
Jeffrey
Campbell also
Scott.
good. Sam Viviano did a good job too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Jeffrey Scott. That was when he was Jeffrey Scott, right? He
Yeah.
was yet to be J. Scott Campbell. Jeffrey Scott.
Yeah, I forget what
Oof,
actually. I think he's called Jeff now. Oh yeah, that got out of order.
that's
So
good.
this is another. It's a glory picture by Seth DeMoose, and then this is. I don't know who owns this. Somebody's got all 9 issues of the Joe Quesada, Jimmy
Jeez.
Palmiotti
Did they ever
Extreme.
make a poster of this or no?
No, it was solicited, but it
Oh,
never came out. So like Liefeld should get on that. Like if he has access to these, which he does, he knows the person who has them. Like I think Liefeld knows who he is.
well, the
So
problem with this is that there were no versions at the time, right? There were no Virgin covers, correct?
correct, no versions at the time.
Right.
I think he ended up using the Prophet cover on the Prophet facsimile edition.
One
I
of the
think he had that
variants.
recolored.
Yeah.
I think.
See, that's the problem is that like back then it wasn't really anything. Oh, I see the little Easter egg there. I got the Robin Joy on the license plate there. I didn't see that before. Ash.
Look at that
There's an Ash Easter egg right there. That Knightmare.
nightmare. Yeah,
Knightmare. Young Blood. Let me see if I can figure this out. New
All right.
Men,
Right.
Glory.
Yep.
I guess Team Youngblood there. Yeah, Team Youngblood in the middle there,
Yep.
up top. So Supreme.
Hmm.
I guess they have a Chapel
Yep.
series,
Yep.
Blood Strike. Yeah, I guess it's
Yep.
not that hard. And then Prophets. That was Prophet what? Prophet Volume 2, number 2.
It was the Prophet Annual that was part of Extreme. I'm sorry, well, part of
Wow.
Supreme Apocalypse.
Mm.
Supposed to be Prophet number four, but then they switched it to a Prophet Annual. We
Prophet
just talked
number
about that last week.
2. Yeah,
Oops.
Prophet number 2 I need to find. I have Prophet number 2. I have the plaque cover. I need to find the Frank Miller cover.
Frank Miller cover, dude. Yeah,
Frank Miller
those were
cover is
two.
great,
Those were
actually.
two surprise variants because number one has a Boris Vallejo variant, and then number two has Frank Miller. And I'm like,
Oh, that's right.
is this going to be a thing? Are we going to get some crazy ass artist variant every issue? I would have been fine with it. I don't know how you follow them up. I guess a Perez cover or like a John Byrne. You never were going to get a John Byrne.
Yeah, why did I reference Hildebrands this week? I'm trying to remember what was out or something. There was something, and then I mentioned Black Wolf. I'm like, yeah, where's my Black Wolf at? Oh,
True.
is there a character coming on to something that was going to be on TV? I'm trying to remember. I think it was a Marvel character that was going to like be on something. Let me see if I can
Beyond
figure it out.
what Ironheart or something. They're putting a lot of characters in Ironheart
Yeah.
because nobody wants to actually watch Ironheart. Sorry, not sorry.
Congrats to Dan. Oh, Metamorpho. So I was mentioning Metamorpho, and then Ian says all your dreams are coming true. That Metamorpho is going to be in there, and I said, well, now, if I could only get my powers to work on Marvel Comics legend Black Wolf to the screen. And then Ian said, I can honestly say I've never seen that before. I'm like, Black Wolf, Angel Medina. And then I think it's really funny because I'm looking at I got a book of the Joe Jusko Marvel Masterpieces. More pieces, yeah. But I felt bad when he had to do like the they contracted him to do, I guess, a reprint, and they wanted him to do additional newer characters. So you imagine him doing fucking Cyber, right? So Joe Jusko's like painting Cyber. He's like, God damn it, I don't
I
want to
know.
fucking paint this. You know what I mean? Like,
You know what? You say that, but also some people like the challenge of weird new characters. They're
yeah,
like, I've never
but
drawn
but
this before.
when I looked up Black Wolf to send like a reference art, like Black Wolf was in like Marvel Masterpieces 2 or 3, whatever the Hildebrands do. Who did 2? Boris Vallejo, Julie
I don't
Bell
think he
did
did.
2.
Well, two was a mishmash of people.
Okay.
Two. But then I think Boris Lejo got his own set, and the
Okay.
Hildebrands got their own set. I think they each
Yeah.
got their own sets.
But you got the Black Wolf doing that. I mean, imagine fucking the Hildebrands like, who the fuck is this? Black Wolf, the bad costume,
Yeah, I love Black Wolf. I feel like Black Wolf was like, hey, Angel Medina, don't go to Image yet. We'll give you your own book, your own launch,
Right.
and then because he had number one, a nice embossed cover.
Oh yeah. I have it downstairs. It's on
Yeah,
my 90s wall.
no,
Um,
I like Black Wolf.
so the only
And
problem with this art
it's a shame
is,
that like I knew a girl whose father was Rich Rankin, inker,
oh
published
yeah,
at
yeah,
like Eagle Comics back in the 80s, and he owned Comic Zone in Berlin.
Personality Comics.
And he inked an issue, and I was so excited to get that issue. And then I'm like, oh, it's like Angel Medina layouts, and he finished it. It doesn't look
Mm.
good. Like I'll have to go back and look at it now, but I know he wasn't a good inker for Angel Medina. I think he inked some Scott McDaniel on Daredevil too.
Mhm. Yeah, Red Dragon. He inked Matt Wagner stuff as well on Mage. Like he would do some of the blacks there.
Yeah,
So would Joe
I don't know
Matt.
why he sold Comic Zone. You had an issue with that. Comic Zone was a really good comic book store, really good back issues. They had quarter bins
Oh
instead of
yeah,
$3 for $1 bins. Rainbow Comics had $3 for $1 bins, and they had quarter
three
bins.
for $1, man. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. The funny thing was is that I went to me and Dan Hirsch, who owned Legends at the time. We went over to and we made a flyer. I wrote it. I wrote a flyer for anyone that was Comic Zone subscribers. Come to Legends in Deptford, which is not close, by the way. So it's not. The funny thing was with LCSs, right? It's literally just straight up proximity. Like it's not a thing. If you're closer to Frankenstein, you're going to Frankenstein. If you're closer to Deptford, you're going to Deptford. That's it. There really isn't.
Yes.
If you're closer to Glassbury, you're going
And
to go to
there's
A
no
plus. You
like
There's not like
our comic store was in Deptford. That was in Berlin. It's a solid half an hour ride,
it's not an easy,
but
and
there's
there's
no
no easy way to
highways.
get there. And
There's no
there's no way to
highways.
get there.
Yeah.
So it's impossible to get there. So we got them. We literally were there one night. We got literally like the physical mailing list I wrote a bunch of letters and we folded them in and we mailed them. So then Bobby Lupo buys Comic Zone, I guess, and turns into Stormwatch Comics.
He had
And
a
he,
small Stormwatch shop 3 blocks away from Comic Crypt in Oak Lane. I don't know
oh,
why
I
you
see.
would open a comic shop 3 blocks away from the oldest comic shop in South Jersey.
Right, right,
You
right,
know,
right.
the second oldest. Weird move. So then he somehow acquires Comic Zone. I don't know if he buys
Mhm,
it or just whatever, takes it over, moves his little Stormwatch store into the bigger Comic Zone store, changes the Stormwatch comics.
mhm.
And what happens?
He calls all the mails go to all the subscribers. All the subscribers
Right.
basically stay there. Comic Zone didn't go out. They didn't close. They stayed open. So then Bobby calls me and he's like, who the fuck are you?" And he starts screaming at me. I was like, "Hey man, I don't know." Now, what's tough about the mall is that I can't close. So he's like, "I'm gonna come down there and kick your ass." I'm like, if he comes in the store, I'm the only one here. I guess he's just gonna kick my ass. I don't know. This guy sounded really mad, really fucking mad. And I was like, "Hey man, I don't know. Rich, uh, Rich was I don't know. I got who cares? Like I was kind of like, who cares? But I was so a little freaked out. I'm like, there's nobody here. Do I call anyone? Like there was always one or two extra people in the store, to be fair. But like, I guess this guy's gonna come down and beat me up. It's not as if I
Yeah.
could shut the store down. You know what I mean? It's I
He
got to be
could.
open until 9:30. Like whatever the fuck. All the mall hours are no good anymore now. They
So
don't
did
close
Dan
early.
Hirsch like pay for those customers? Like, was it a handshake agreement? How
It
did
was
they
just,
deal?
yeah. I mean, I think it was just a friendship agreement saying like, hey, like
I'm
maybe
going
there might have
out.
been some transaction. There may have been something, you know. But Rich was making a bunch of money at the time. I only met him once. I met him that day, and when he was explaining what was going on, is that he is, and you have to be your brain has to be a certain way to do this. He's a dealer. He deals blackjack or whatever. He deals cards. He does
Oh,
poker
was that his
games.
other? Was that his gig?
Yeah, yeah. Your brain has to be a certain way to do that, and he made all his money doing that. And he's like, I'm good at that, and I'm gonna go do that. So I imagine that's what he's doing still,
Uh, I
you know.
That's funny. I ran into his daughter once, but she like didn't remember me. I'm like, you liked me. You asked me out.
You
Like,
liked me.
you don't
You
like
liked
Fat
me.
Bald Rob now?
No.
No,
Um,
but she
but
was like, she was pretty cool. And like, I went to the store one time, and his I guess her she didn't like her stepmom. This much I know from her. She didn't like her stepmom. So we go to the store, me, Brian, Walt. Was it Walt? I don't remember. And the store was like not quite open yet, and we're just waiting for her to open the door. So we go in, and she's on the phone. Can I find out real quick why like this friend of mine didn't like her? She's like, "Oh, these 3 guys like almost pushed me over to get into the store." Like, what are you talking about? Like, she's just making up stories to make things sound
mhm.
worse. Like one of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
type of people. But like
Cool.
she had just, but like we did talk to her, and she ended up being kind of cool. And she had just got back from California because they had went to Extreme Studios in Liefeld's house to film. Like they were trying to make a comic book show that never
Mm,
aired anywhere. So now I'm like, where's that footage at? Now that I remember that story, I'm like, it'd be nice if I could run into that girl. Like, hey, you have access to this footage? What if we could get that
right.
footage, dude?
Awestruck Comics exclusive.
I
Exclusive.
know.
Exclusive. Exclusive. Well, you're on Facebook. You might be able to find it.
I know.
FB it. FB it. I ain't on FB. Yeah.
You should be. It's a great way to see people who you don't care about.
I don't care. No. It's all right.
Facebook
So,
is great because it's like you don't have to make like awkward phone calls or whatever. You just be like, oh look, that person's still alive, or oh that person died. It's great for that reason.
yeah, I would love this as a poster, 24 by 36. But the issue problem, like, even if I got all the comics together,
They
back
don't line
these
up.
days, they don't line up. The
They
the
I've
the,
seen
the
them.
Portaccio
I
ones not
have them.
line up.
I have them. They do
Yeah,
not line up. I could send
no.
you scans of the covers, right? And
And I could try to do it.
you could
I could
try
try
to
to stitch them.
Photoshop stitch them together. You should. It'll look like garbage.
Yeah, send them to me. I'll
Some of
do my
them
best.
some of them look like, and Liefeld told me they were all colored by the same guy. I think maybe Drew. And but they weren't printed to look the same. You
Mhm.
know,
Right.
like the colors don't look like they match up, but they are supposed to. But all the files are
Yeah.
missing from the 90s. They all used hard drives and overused them, and it sucks because they
Right.
no
Google
one
Drive it. Cloud it.
they didn't know they didn't know back then that like they were going to have to do trades or hardcovers or digital versions. Like there was all this money that they weren't aware of happening in the future because they were making so much money at the time. It's
Now,
interesting.
if that's Nightmare, good Nightmare.
Yeah.
What issue is that? Two? Like, cause one is the chromium, right?
Yeah, I think you're correct. There's like six. I think there's 6 or 7 issues of Nightmare. It went on
Wow.
for a minute, and I think the issue that didn't get published was the Babe Watch issue. I
Oh
think Babe Watch
no.
was like the end of Extreme because certain books did it and did it right. Like
Mm,
it really worked in Supreme, it worked in Newman, it worked in Youngblood, but like
Newman.
Brigade got solicited for Brigade, Bloodstrike, and Nightmare all got solicited for Babe Watch issues, and none of them came out.
Good Nightmare.
Nightmare.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Vanguard. Is that Vanguard up there? Oh, that's right.
Yes,
Vanguard was
because
in Youngblood. Team Youngblood.
no, Vanguard was in Brigade at the time. Brigade was like
Oh,
Troll, Vanguard,
so Brigade.
Supreme.
That's Brigade up there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Team Youngblood. It's Trolls there. Trolls
Yeah,
in Brigade.
Troll joined Brigade after Extreme
Oh,
Sacrifice.
there's Casada's cats right there. There's his cats. His cats are in the glory cover. Oh, wait, why is the guy in Brigade up top there? He looks like Battalion, doesn't he? He's got like the Battalion head thing on.
It's Roman.
Roman Namor, you mean? Oh, because he has to be in water. Wow.
I don't know. It's weird looking.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know.
Don't
But
know.
it's fun, dude.
Yeah.
Chapel, Bloodstrike, Prophet, Nightmare, Supreme, Glory, Newman,
Was that a Chapel
Youngblood.
miniseries?
It was ongoing at the time.
Oh my God. Fucking 90s, dude. Could do anything. So,
Fucking 90s is right, dude.
well, that's it. That's all the news. I have to go to the
That's pretty
bathroom.
much most of the
Really
news.
bad.
So,
So, gonna go now.
all right, man.
That's
Hey,
that's the end. Happy Easter, everybody. 420. 420 it
and
up.
head is back on reviews day.
Yep. DoorDash is telling me they get to order eggs and have them delivered. That's interesting.
That's yeah, it is.
Topical. All right, everybody. We'll see everyone on Reviews Day. Special programming coming. Exciting
Yes.
times. Stay tuned. Share, and subscribes. Thank you all. See you soon. Happy Easter. Go
Happy
Jesus.
Easter.